Yo. Yo, how we going, man? Yeah, did you have a Yankees Fordham shirt on yesterday?
I did. This is my normal Fordham quarter set.
I saw it in that colorway. I was like, that's nice.
Yeah. It was like Fordham night last year. They had Fordham night.
No, that's cool. That's rare. I was like, I haven't seen any like maroon. Yankee gear like that.
Shirt when I'm just like hanging out.
No, it's a flex, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that shirt.
Oh yeah, I made this.
That's awesome. That's the FAN.
It's the FAN flag over, when I come in with the year.
All right, have a good one, guys.
See you. Get them safe.
Good evening at 11 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. 11 straight wins at home for the Blue Jays, 5 straight against the Yankees, but Ben Rice put all of it on its ear. Ben Rice, the solo shot in the ninth of the Yankees over the Blue Jays, 5-4. Dave Sims, the call right here on the Fan. Jazz Chisholm, Cody Bellinger, they each went deep. Cam Schlittler allowed 2 runs over 5. Now, an Anthony Volpe error is 13th, led to a pair of unearned runs, but Luke Weaver settled things down. 5 big outs out of the pen, and Devin Williams shut the door as the Yankees pulled to within 3 in the division. Francisco Alvarez making a huge impact in his return. A 2-run shot. Brandon Nimmo singled in the other run as the Mets upend the Angels 3-2. Frankie Montas allowed 2 runs over 5 2/3. Bullpen again doing its job with Ryan Stanek shut the door for his 3rd save. And Andrew Thomas begins Giants camp on the PUP list for right now being considered day-to-day. 72 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it again. With a little bit of better vibes tonight. The Yankees win. Put it in the books. The Mets win the series. And we've got a lot to unpack from these games tonight. Dial 888-808-1019 one time if you're trying to talk to me. I don't like the way I was feeling during that Yankee game. Ben Rice bailed him out. And my favorite Met, El Troll, Francisco Alvarez. He's back in the New York groove, and you got to be happy for a young man that locked in, did what he had to do, came back, and is playing hero now. The Blue Jays streak ends, and the Mets win streak begins. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which way should we go? To the victor, go to spoils, right? I think we start with the Yankees just because it was a bigger win. I know the Mets won the series, but I feel like the Yankee fan is like, win of the year every week. That's the win of the year. That's the win of the season. That was a must-win game. The Yankees had to have that win. They fought back. They found a way to win tonight. Now, I feel like Ben Rice bailed them out. And if he doesn't have the heroics that he had, we would feel a lot different about the Yankees right now. They were something like 10-17 against the American League East. I think I also heard tonight that they just snapped a 9-game road losing streak in the American League East. And the Blue Jays had an 11-game home win streak. And that's all done now. Cam Schlittler I'm cool with that, young man. I like the look of it. Good enough, man. This is a young guy who, in his second start, is able to go 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, strikes out 3, walks 3. Good enough. I mean, early in the game, Jazz Chisholm Jr., he hit that bomb, and it's like, yo, he's dialed in. If you guys follow Jazz on Twitter, I'm not sure exactly what prompted it. I think it was just very loud. The noise was very loud around the Yankees. Aaron Boone went on Talking Yanks today. We'll play a little bit of him getting fired up with John Boy and Jake. The noise around the Yankees was very loud, and one Jazz Chisholm came out and said, AirPod Jazz is back. And I'm like, AirPod Jazz? I'm like, this is an Apple product placement? And then he doubled down. He said, that means I can't hear nothing. I'm deaf. I'm just here to play ball. And so when you see Jazz yeet that ball like that, when you see Jazz hit that 3-run bomb, it's like, well, something worked for him. And we needed that. It was right away. It was in the first inning. We absolutely needed to feel something as a fan base that is just down and just worried. And you've got Max Scherzer on the mound. What a pal. That fastball got absolutely cooked. And that's Jazz's 18th homer of the year to put the Yankees up 3-0, where you feel pretty good about yourself. And then, of course, the pesky Blue Jays are able to get one on the board in the bottom of the first. But then we go some time until we get to the point where, yeah, you got to bail these guys out. Saved by the bell. Last night, we talked about Cody Bellinger not being in the game, and I had an issue with it. I did lean on the numbers against Gossman, and I understood it, but I don't want to understand not playing your best players against the best team in your division that you're chasing. Cody Bellinger should be in there every day. He plays 4 different positions. He's a plus defender. He's on a heater. And I guess you could say the day off worked for him because he came through tonight. I mean, obviously with the glove, but he had 3 hits and a homer. And I don't know. When you see Cody Bellinger, it just makes you think about a lot of different things with this team. The guy can play first. He can play all the outfield positions. He's got to be in the lineup every day. He loomed large in this game. But yeah, there was a couple little things, man. Like Yorbit Vivas goes to his left, hops up, can't make the throw, pulls Ben Rice off the bag. You're like, come on. Nobody can play third. And then like Ben Rice is obviously not Paul Goldschmidt at first. So it makes you value Goldie. We'll get to Goldie a little later in the night. I owe Goldie an apology. But yeah, as you're watching this game, it's almost like you know that the Blue Jays are pesky. They're not going to go quietly. You know that like their style of play on that turf, they are just waiting for a mistake. And they got it. Yeah, they got it. Anthony Volpe, come on down again. You know, Volpe's throw, and we got to talk about this. It's getting to the point now where it's in Volpe's head that he's struggling. He is the whipping boy. He is the conversation. It is reaching a national level, bro. I saw a video. I don't even know who it was. It was a Hispanic player at the All-Star game, and they had one of those big-ass Geico gloves. And in Spanish, and it was like one of those videos that just pops up on your TikTok. In Spanish, he mouths to whoever's recording, this is the kind of glove that Anthony Volpe needs to use. Anthony Volpe now with 13 errors is all the way up there. After last night, Aaron Boone told you it was just 3 or 4 plays. And I told you last night, there's just 3 or 4 plays that we can remember in Toronto in the 4-game series that was, and now these 2 games. But yeah, Volpe is up there with 13. He leads all of baseball. It's him and Willy Adames. And you can live with Willy Adames because Willy Adames is going to hit home runs and produce and has been in the league for so long anyway. When Volpe lets that ball eat him up and you see him kind of messing around with it in his glove, he doesn't field it cleanly, and he comes up to throw it, don't make it more difficult on Ben Rice than it needs to be. That ball skips short of Ben Rice. He's not able to pick it, and now we're in trouble. That looms large. That is something that they would pay for because in that same inning, with Tim Hill on the mound, obviously with the bullpen as well, it gets a little shaky. Tim Hill, his usage is up there. Let me see. Max Goodman reported that Tim Hill now has been used in 48 games this year. Only 6 other pitchers have appeared in more games. So always going to Tim Hill. It's almost like didn't go to Tim Hill in the World Series when you were supposed to. Now you always go to Tim Hill. I'll give Boone a break. I'm going to pat him on the back in a minute. But, this Volpe thing is in everybody's mind. You think it's not in Tim Hill's mind? Of course it is. And when he gets that out and Volpe doesn't make the play, it's like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. And then what happens? Those pesky Blue Jays, they end up scoring and running. And John Schneider pinch hits Davis Schneider to face the sidewinder. Davis Schneider doubles. Miles Straw is motoring. He's the fastest guy out there. It's 4-3 Yankees. And then what happens? Jonathan, low expectations, replaces Tim Hill. And as soon as I see Johnny Lowe warming up, I'm like, FML. I have no faith in him. But that's his role. That's where he's going to come in. That's how they're going to use him, even though he's been terrible this year. Even though they need to send him anywhere, they have nothing. They need to make a move tonight. They need to add tonight. When I get to the Mets, I'm gonna explain something with David Stearns and how he is constantly tweaking and changing things and how that helped the Mets tonight. Like, that man is working right now. He's probably working right now, gonna go to bed, wake up the next day, tomorrow, and make some type of roster change or adjustment to try to help the Mets. He is always figuring and tweaking. It's like a Rubik's Cube or something over there. I need Cashman to start twisting the Rubik's Cube. Anyway, that bad man, George Springer, Yankees killer, he singles and he's fired up. He ends up on second base, hooting and hollering, yelling and screaming. You can hear him in New Britain, Connecticut. The game is tied, and I'm starting to fall ill. I'm starting to get sick. I'm starting to worry. I'm starting to say, why do I have to feel like this? Why do they find a way? Why is it Volpe again? Another error. And it's a throw. Like, we have to talk about this because I can't do this in October. I can't do this the rest of the season with games on the line and plays that need to be made. He's a major league level shortstop. These are routine plays that have to be outs. And it can't be that you're skipping the ball. Throw the ball at the guy's chest, his face. Do not make it more difficult. Anyway, moving on. I'll spare you. You watched the game. You just had the recap. By the time Luke Weaver comes in there, Luke Weaver's pitch count runs up, and I'll pat Boone on the back for going to get Weavy. I'll pat Boone on the back for knowing, hey, he's hit 30 pitches, and he's got these 2 outs. Let's not risk it here. We're going to Ian Hamilton. And I learned today in the postgame, he called Ian Hamilton Hammy. Booney and his E nicknames. Hammy. Now we got a Hammy. I thought it was a stretch when they called Oswaldo Cabrera Cabby. Now Ian Hamilton is Hammy. Anyway, Hammy gets it done. Retires George Springer. And I'm like, all right, come on. Because it's time for the airbender. And Devin Williams, man, to think we've gotten all the way to this point with Devin Williams, where Devin Williams, we have to believe in him. It is still a little bit shaky. You are a little worried watching him on the mound. Vladdy comes up, slaps a single through. You're like, all right, here we go. Time run is on. All right, how did I skip over Ben Rice's heroics in the top of the ninth? I feel like I said it already, and obviously Benny Blanco arose. He was due, and he faces Jeff Hoffman, and that homer he hits. As much as we want to talk about championship DVDs, as much as we want to talk about having too many guys and not enough positions, he hadn't homered since June 24th. That is about as big of a homer as as you can hit when you consider where we are in the division and that team rolling and in their building needing to get a win. Man, I loved it. I loved the way he pimped it and like chucked the bat. I'm like, wow, that was cold blooded. So of course you get to Devin Williams in the ninth, and the airbender is going, strikes out Bichette. They have a little pitch com issue, and we all know now that, like, Devin Williams unlocked something by calling his own game. And Addison Barger, here he comes, and he hits the ball in the gap, and of course, saved by the bell. What the belly Bellinger is there, and he's able to get Alejandro Kirk chasing the airbender, strikes him out. Yankees win, and you're able to just exhale and say, okay. Losing streak versus the American League East, losing streak in the Rogers Center ends, and you've got Max Fried coming back from his blister injury, and you hope that he's lights out tomorrow. Now, there was a little bit of a scare with Aaron Judge. I don't think it's going to be anything, but in my chat, they're talking about it. I don't expect it to be anything because Judge is Judge. Like, he's going to make these faces. He's going to wince. He's going to show some, like, pain in the game. But I guess there was a point in the game, Sweet Baby Jesus says in the chat that it was around the 6th or 7th inning. He threw the ball, made a really bad face. He looked like he might have twisted his wrist, but he stayed in the game, and the Yankees won. Now, I said I was going to give credit to David Stearns. I am very interested to see what he does at the trade deadline. But, as I'm preparing for the show every day, I follow all of these accounts, and I follow the Mets account, and I have alerts on their accounts. And I feel like every single day they put up those big graphics that say roster moves. And it's like, okay, what do we have here today? We have made the following roster moves. Starling Marte is back. Jared Young is optioned. The Rico Garcia podcast. He's back. After just quickly going to Atlanta to sabotage the Yankees, Rico Garcia is back in the Met uniform. Kevin Hergert, thank you for your service. We'll hit you up when we need you again. They option him after he was solid last night. Justin Garza gets recalled. Chris Davinsky gets DFA'd. Brandon Waddell gets optioned. What I'm saying is they don't have much of a pen at all. The Yankees don't have much of a pen either. But it seems like David Stearns and the pitching lab, they are consistently working on it. It's musical chairs. It's up and down. It's this guy, that guy, mixing, matching. Maybe it's because of the matchup. Maybe it's who they're facing. I'm sure Mendoza is in collaboration with them. But, noticing how the Mets make all of these moves before we get to the deadline where they'll ultimately make some moves to shore up their bullpen. I mean, you got to feel good about what you see tonight. So we'll get back to Rico Garcia in a minute. But, the top of the Mets order, the Fab Four, the Met Quartet, the Flushing Four, the big money guys, they're still struggling. I feel like Lindor, who actually debuted his Cafe Con Lindor show today with Action Bronsolino. That's a good first guy to have, especially for something like that, because you guys have all watched, Action Bronson on Vice and his food show. I'm blanking on the name, but he's a great guy to have to sit down and talk. But as I'm watching this, I'm like, wouldn't this have been cooler if they called it Cafe Con El Capitan? And I'm like, what is wrong with Lindor right now? He's in the worst stretch of his career. He's hitless, I think, in his last 30 at-bats. If I go back to my notes, I'm like, damn, what is it right now? And I'm like, maybe it's in his head that he thought he was going to be named captain over the weekend. That video leaks. It goes from David Wright to Lindor. Maybe he was thinking, wow, I'm going to be a part of this. Wow, it's my turn, my turn, my time. They forgot about the raccoon stuff. They forgot about the thumbs down. They remember what I did last year, putting the team on my back. I'm struggling right now. He continues to struggle, but so what? You've got other guys in the bottom of the order, the baby Mets, these young guys that are getting it done. I got to start with Francisco Alvarez. Yes, my favorite Met, El Troll, the best. Man, I like the story of him going down to AAA, working on himself, and being committed to doing what he has to do to get better. Not having an ego. Not being so cocky and so full of himself to be frustrated and pout and say, I don't belong here. I'm better than Luis Torrens and Hayden Sanger. No, go down there and get right, and don't do it in front of the spotlight. Don't do it, in front of these fans that they'll boo your ass. For real. This is New York. It's tough. And man, he was close to hitting a homer last night. The homer that he hit tonight, like, his swing is right. He's doing it behind the plate. He's able to tie the game for the Mets after Jorge Soler had the solar power solo shot. No biggie. No biggie for Frankie Montas. And then Nolan Shanuel doubled and sent Luis Rengifo. How about Luis Rengifo? He's balling. I think he's got like 6 hits in the series at the as the 9 hitter. But yeah, ultimately the Mets are able to tie the game, and then all you need is one more run, and Brandon Nimmo singles to drive in Ronnie Mauricio, and then you got to get, I think, like 10 outs from the bullpen. And yep, Frankie Montas was solid. Like, not for nothing, like, I expected him to be trash going back to his rehab and AAA, whatever. You can't really judge that, but I'm going off of when Frankie was a Yankee. He was garbage. I mean, he's throwing 97 at, the end of his outing. He's able to go out there tonight, 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. But now he's ramping up. Now he's been pitching for a while. He got up to 91 pitches tonight. You'll take that. You'll take that. He's got 3 wins. And then, the Rico Garcia podcast, Rico Garcia comes in and strikes out 2, gives you a clean inning. Reed Garrett comes in, and you feel good about Reed Garrett. He goes an inning and a third with 2 strikeouts, and you're able to hand the ball to Ryan Stanek for the save. And yeah, a couple hits, but he gets the job done, and you don't have to use Edwin Diaz. 43,000 in attendance at Citi Field to see the Mets take the series against the Angels, to see the generational Juan Soto get doubled up. No, I'm just kidding. To see generational Juan Soto stealing bags. I'll give Soto credit for that. I think that's what happened when he did get doubled up. Oh, and they had the kid caster on the call out there. But yeah, Juan Soto's sneaky. He's got his career high season total stealing bases. And it's kind of like, he's a walk machine. He's also leading Major League Baseball in walks. He's over 80 walks on the year. So he kind of lulls you to sleep, the walk machine. And then before you know it, he's taken off and he's on second base. So yeah, Juan Soto's got 82 walks on the year. He's out in front by a lot. Rafael Devers is at 74 in second. Shout out to Rafael Devers. The San Francisco Giants are undefeated with Rafael Devers playing first base. He just didn't want to do it for the Red Sox. But yeah, what else from this Mets game, man? I just think the vibes are right when you can overcome Pete Alonso struggling, Francisco Lindor struggling. It's a team win. Like, I think I had in my notes in like maybe the 7th, bottom of the 7th, Mets leave them loaded. Lindor and Alonso both strike out, and they're in bad ones right now. But you can't hang your head because you're finding ways to win. And how about Brett Beatty? I was calling him Brett Beatty Bonds. He was Brett Brooks Robinson tonight, making plays at third. He had one that he made for Reed Garrett. I'm like, they're not trading Brett Beatty. He's looking too valuable right now, really coming into his own. So, even Mauricio getting on base, the Mets win, and they have a new 3-game win streak. And some folks are pointing to another character. No, not a McDonald's character, but a backyard sports character called Pablo Sanchez. They're saying this is the Pablo Sanchez effect on the Make It Happen Mets. He's the GOAT to you. I never played that game. Well, he was at Citi Field a couple days ago, and they haven't lost since. 888-808-1019. We're wide open for business now. Yankee fans, call me up. Mets fans, call me up. Let's enjoy the win. It's better when we win. Better conversations. Bring your questions, your topics at hand. When we come back, I'll apologize to Paul Goldschmidt, and we'll talk a little bit about some stuff that went on pregame before the game. But ultimately, I want to keep the vibes positive because it's a big win for the Yankees to even up that series, and a big win for the Mets, 3 in a row, taking that series against the Anaheim Angels. This is Keith McPherson on the Fan Dial, 888-808-1019. We'll be right back. Hello. Let's see what they chatting about though. Biggest W of the season. Seems like we say it every week. You're. You're. Yeah, I gotta hit him with that. But tomorrow we go Max Fried, 8 innings. Bodega after party. You're bugging, bro. Ain't nobody over at the bodega right now. What bodega you talking about? Not the Bleacher Creatures bodega. Maybe in your hood, King of Touts. Benny Blanco Arroz. Let's go, Yankees. Military Mike, what up? El Troll indeed. Let's go, Yanks. Finally, a great win against a division rival. Much needed. Mets will always be the Mets, but you got to give them their props. It's part of the gig. It's part of my job description. It's part of my job description. 5-game losing streak to the Blue Jays had to stop. What up, bro? Mendel, what up? I try to tell him, bro, but it sound better when somebody else tell him. I can't say it. It sound better when it's not coming from me. Exactly. Max for the win tomorrow. He could pitch the whole damn game. How about that? How about he pitched the whole game? What happened here, yo? Oh, I thought my phone was messed up. Yeah, AirPod Jazz. Love the tea. You already know. This is the McPherson brand merch, bro. Let me go ahead and hit y'all with that McPherson brand merch link, bro. You already know. I'm going through some issues with Shopify, with how I want to do the merch, so I haven't been promoting it too much. But yeah, I just put the link in the chat. Let's put the link in the chat. Let me see if I can get us back current before the break. Let's go Bombers. Did it. For real, yo. Could have been really bad, yo. That could have been really bad for all of us. Can we start the movement of giving Volpe the Trey Turner treatment? He's our shortstop. He's here for now. Nah, hell nah. I'm gonna talk about it, bro. We are not Philly. It is not going down like that, bro. It's just not. I'm a, you know, when I say when you guys have good things to bring to the air, I just star them. I just starred that one. I'm gonna bring that one up. Like we are not doing that. And I got a great way to bring it into the chat. Think we should trade Dominguez? Ooh, cause you drinking that Spencer Jones Kool-Aid. All right, here we go. Okay, let's do the show. 888-808-1019. We got a full rack of calls. A bunch of people talking in the chat. I'll take this from the chat first, and just because I thought it was funny. Christopher Sanchez from the Philadelphia Phillies pitched a 4-hit complete game tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that. I think I read it on Twitter, but I'm pretty sure that's what went down. And so he's in line to pitch, I think, Sunday against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. Friday in Yankee Stadium is, hey fans, the first 18,000 guests come out and get an Anthony Volpe bobblehead. So in the chat, and the chat is funny. Mendel in the chat says, Keith, can we start the movement of giving Volpe the Trey Turner treatment? He's our shortstop. He's here for now. Let's show the kid we love him. Military Mike says, yeah, it's Yankees Phillies this weekend. I wouldn't mind if the Yankees get hot and sweep them. Well, hey, hold on, fellas. One, this is New York, specifically the Bronx, New York. There will be no Trey Turner, everybody stand up and applause for Anthony Volpe. We're beyond that point. I hope fans support him and don't boo him and make him the whipping boy and make it harder for him. But it's going to be hard enough to beat the Phillies. It's going to be hard enough to deal with Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. We'll get there. We still got one more against the Blue Jays. And Max Fried is on the mound, and this bullpen is in shambles. So we need Max Fried to have a complete game 4-hitter tomorrow in the Rogers Center. Rob is on the Upper West Side on the Fan First. What's up, Rob?
So much for having me on. I love the show. No, I mean, I want to talk about Volpe for a second. Like, I'm not one of these fans. I know you're a big Yankees fan. We're not here to call for, someone's head. But you're watching a guy at shortstop who is clearly playing at a level that is not in line with the advanced metrics that he's playing at. So, you're seeing him at, plus WAR, seeing him at, nearly OPS plus, but we're watching him every night and he's literally tossing the Yankees games regularly and he's playing 150 plus games a year. Why can't Boone or Cashman or anyone just say like, hey, there's something going on here. We need to at least, get this guy some rest and down, do something where he's not playing every single day. And, and the second point of that of like, Cashman, I don't want to be one of these people who is a Cashman antagonist, because he's done a lot of good things. But let's be real here. We've got a third baseman who is hitting at the lowest level of any third baseman in the league. We've got a shortstop who's playing at seemingly below average. We've got a first baseman who's on a 1-year contract and is 38 years old. So basically, our entire infield is one second baseman, and we've got a logjam in second in all the outfield, and we've got 3 left-handed catchers. So,
it needs to be addressed. It leaves a lot to be desired. It is not good, and it is not the New York Yankees standard, and it's hard to believe that this is a championship caliber team. Thanks for the call, Rob. 888-808-1019. I'm with you. As much as I have defended Anthony Volpe, as much as I am rooting for the kid, I root for the laundry. I root for the New York Yankees. I am talking about, okay, they bat him 9th tonight. He goes 0 for 3. He was up 3-1 in a count where I was sure he was going to find a way to work a walk. But then I'm like, Scherzer's not gonna walk him. Forget what inning that was. But it was pretty early in the game where I'm like, okay, just get on. Get on. He would have worked a leadoff walk. He did not. So he's reduced at the plate, man.
He's batting 212, and I think yesterday I pulled up some stats that in July he was batting 150. And that has carried over to the field. He's playing scared. He's thinking too much. It has to be second nature. It has to be almost thoughtless. It has to be ball is hit, and on the ground, ball is in my glove, ball is thrown to the first baseman's glove, done. And it's like in those, and like that's longer than it actually happens. It's a lot faster, but in those couple seconds, and when they slow it down for us on yes, I'm like, look at his footwork, look at the glove, I'm no baseball coach, I'm a fan, right? I'm just like you guys, like, and I mean, I know there's people listening that probably know it a little more, where they're like, yeah, I can see his mechanics are off. So no one is above reproach. I don't understand how we've gotten this far, where he has played this many games, had this many at-bats, has had this many opportunities to commit errors, has the manager getting visibly upset over questions about him. They didn't treat Derek Jeter or anybody like this. You know, it's kind of peculiar. Is that not odd to you guys? It's kind of weird to me. And then when you talk about the entire infield, yeah, like Yorbit Vivas, come on, bro. This has to end soon. I don't know if we can wait till the deadline. Like I talked about Vivas not being able to make the throw, and I'm like, come on, man. They sat Peraza down. We have no answers. It's the New York Yankees. So Brian Cashman is also not above reproach because he built this team. He put this together. He hasn't made a move yet to make it better. And it's like, you have the division on the line while you wait. And like, you're allowing these guys to cost us outs, which cost runs and then cost us games. How can you just sit by and think that's okay? The math isn't mathing, right? Even hearing Volpe last night saying, oh, well, you know, it's the middle of July. And no. The urgency has to tick up. The urgency has to tick way up. But we've just passed this point of like, there is no sending him down. There is no backup option for him, Peraza. There is no giving him a day off. Really, like, you need him to play. But he plays, and he gives you nothing at the plate. Saturday, he had two homers, which was great. But he's gone right back to what he's been. And he just seems to be very much in his head and thinking too much about the routine. Let's go to Hershey, PA, and talk to Cooper on the Fan next. What's up, Coop?
Hey, Keith, what's up?
You know, hanging out, talking through the things.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about, like, Francisco Alvarez, how he's, like, coming out back with, like, a bang.
Yeah.
And, yeah, also getting it done in the field.
Yeah. You know why?
Yeah, also...
Because they sent him down, and he had some time to really reflect and think and work on things. And he comes back, and he looks like a changed man. He is.
Yep. I heard didn't he just have, like, a kid?
He just had a kid. They posted the picture of his baby girl at her first game yesterday. Maybe she was a good luck charm, came back to the game tonight. He homered, and he was this close to homering the day before. His swing looks right. He looks dialed in behind the plate. He went down and put in the work, and he didn't pout about it. He didn't cry about it. He didn't fuss about it. He understood. He said, what do I have to do to get back? And he didn't waste any time getting down there and getting in the lab and fixing himself.
Yeah. Also Brett Beatty, like my brother said that Brett Beatty, he thinks he has the potential of being like a David Wright. I was like, that's a little too much, but I think Brett Beatty could definitely.
I think David Wright is just fresh in everybody's mind. I don't know if I would jump to Brett Beatty. Yeah. I know I'm calling him Brooks Robinson and Barry Bonds, but I'm completely joking.
Yeah, no, yeah. He was also joking. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, it's a little too far. But he's a great fielder, and he's an awesome great hitter also.
So it makes you feel really good to see your young guys contributing at the major league level that you've known about for these last 2-3 years, and they're able to carry some of the big money veterans that are struggling. Like, that's a good feeling. Yeah. That's a team.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for the call, Cooper. 888-808-1019. I'm queuing up some audio right now, And it's just something that's going to go into this conversation. I know we're happy we won, but they were this close to losing. And that Volpe error that put that runner on, and then next thing you know, they're doubling that runner. And it's just like, it allows things to unravel and spiral. And like, they can't keep allowing this. And like, you're looking at Volpe, and they're showing him in the dugout. Like, there was a shot of him walking past Loizaga where Loizaga slams his glove. He doesn't look like he's having fun. He doesn't look like he's happy. And they just want him to just keep working through it through the games. And I'm like, nah, he needs a reset. We thought that the All-Star break was going to be a reset. We thought that the All-Star break would do it. Wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. Let's go to Bob and Keyport on the Fan next. What's up, Bob?
How you doing, Keith?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Do you think that maybe the whole problem with Volpe now, of course, the offensive issues, that's a hitting issue. Maybe the defensive issue has to do with that there is 10 different people who have played first, second, and third base together this season. Maybe he's just not comfortable with the switches every single day while he stays there consistently.
I don't know about that. No, he is a major league level shortstop. Most of his errors are throwing errors. Like, most of his issues, they're not. I mean, he's made.
So you're throwing to Ben Rice different than you throw to Paul Goldschmidt.
I mean, the
the
bag is still in the same spot. The guy is standing there. Put the ball in the air. Why does the ball have to hit the dirt? Why are you rushing the throw? Like, I can't say it's because of different guys playing first or different guys playing second or third. The dimensions of the field are still the same. Though he's had different guys playing around him his whole life. These are routine plays that he's got to be able to make in his sleep with his eyes closed. Thanks for the call, Bob. All right, so I want to play some audio that I stumbled across from Yankees Source. Shout out to Yankees Source. They've been on top of it, and they also are on top of something else that I'm going to get to. But this is Derek Jeter on Drink Champs, and I know a lot of you might not be feeling Jeets right now because Jeets isn't coming to Old Timers Day. So what? But here's Derek Jeter talking about, the game and the speed of the game. And I'm going to use this to kind of go back to talking about Anthony Volpe. It's only a 20-second clip, so play the clip and we'll go back to it.
You hear athletes talk about game speeds up, slows down. Well, it slows down when you're prepared, speeds up when you're unprepared, right? So every time you're in a situation, I've already gone through it in my head. And if you have the same approach to a spring training game as you do a World Series game, nothing changes.
So, you've heard Jeter talk like that before, too, about how it's the same from spring training to World Series. The game speeds up when you're prepared or when you're unprepared versus when you're prepared. They always say, if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. I think Volpe is prepared mentally. Like, he knows who's coming up and Miles Straw is a fast guy. But I don't think he's prepared for the high leverage moments. There are too many crucial times where it's like, that mistake is about to burn us. We're not going to be able to overcome that throw. Or there's times where you're not thinking, like tonight, it's the first out of the game. You're not thinking it's going to be anything. And he kind of falls asleep and doesn't make a solid throw. And it's like, oh, this is going to come back and bite us. I don't know. I think he needs a reset, man. And there's no way to reset him. There's no way to reset him. There's no help on the way. I hear people talking about they got to trade for a shortstop. They're not about to trade for a shortstop. But it's gotten very concerning. And I think the Yankees would be foolish to think that they're about to make trades at this deadline, that they're going to be buyers and they're going to go out and get maybe a Eugenio Suarez. I don't even think they're going to get him, but maybe a Ryan McMahon, a Key Brian Hayes, a Willie Castro, whoever it might be, a starting pitcher, some bullpen arms to shore up this team, and then not address the shortstop position where all these baseballs get hit to, and you have a shortstop who, once you get a third baseman, will probably be the worst hitter on the team and is the worst fielder in the league. That's crazy, no? Am I bugging out? Phil is in Long Beach on the Fan. What's up, Phil?
Hey,
Heath, man. Nice to speak to you. We've actually been on before with you. I appreciate the time. Yeah, man. I honestly, not to go too crazy, but I was listening to BT the last few weeks, and I listen to him and Sal, and some days BT will be really high about him, sometimes he'll be really low, and I gotta say, he brought something up a couple of weeks ago, and it was really about Brian Cashman, and I think that even though this team is in the mix, they're not in the mix. I think if we all really took a moment and thought about it, you've been watching them play Toronto, they get smoked by Toronto. They're not good. They could have easily lost tonight. They were up 4-1. They should have won.
Toronto plays with more fire, more energy, and they don't fear them at all. Vladdy's dancing in the dugout. George Springer's celebrating. They are not shook of the Yankees. They don't fear the Yankees for a second and a half.
We're losing to Toronto. We're losing to Boston. I mean, Tampa, even competes with us. We're not. This is not the Yankee team. And BT brought this up about Cashman. It's been a long run, and I'm not saying they got to get rid of Cashman. That's not what I'm saying. But they need to think about who they are. They need to look in the mirror and just start thinking who are we and what sort of baseball do we play? Because I don't know what kind of baseball they play. It's pretty much hard to watch. You talk about you can talk about anything. Volpe. You can talk about Dominguez. You can talk about
Yorvik Vivas, Peraza. Some of the guys coming out of the bullpen.
The roster's poorly made up. It's a poorly constructed roster. It's flawed. They might add some stuff before the end of the trade deadline, but are they going to really win in the playoffs in the World Series? I think we all know deep down they're just not this.
No, I don't feel it. Yeah, not this year. It doesn't seem like it. There's 9 other teams that are better than them.
I get it, and I get it's hard for people in July to be well, I'm just, look, I'm going to watch it to the end. But I think we all know the truth. And then what are they going to do in the offseason? They don't just have to go out and sign a million things, but they got to ask themselves, who are we? What are we anymore? Because honestly, I just don't know. They're hard to watch these days.
They're a money machine. Thanks for the call, Phil. They're still making money. Watch. This homestand, you got Philly. Those Philly fans are coming up the turnpike. They're taking the Acela train. They're going to be in the ballpark. It's summertime. I'm going. You're going. They're going to have 45,000 fans at all these games. They'll have 4 against Tampa Bay. It'll be packed. They're a money machine. I always think back to the Yankees and this supposed audit that they were supposed to have. I love that idea. You need an outside opinion. When you're too much in your own thoughts about who you are, you lack self-awareness at times. I like the idea of a third party coming in and auditing the Yankees and looking at everything they did and comparing them to the rest of the league. That's what they need to do. And you know what? As soon as that got floated out, they said, no, we don't need to do that. You know what they had instead? They had a check your ego at the door meeting. Okay. What? And then I think what came out of that was that they needed to upgrade the team clubhouse, and they needed to put an emphasis on areas where the players could nap. And they're asleep at the wheel during the games. I'm glad that they found a way to win tonight. Props to Ben Rice, first and foremost, because that's just clutch gene. That's just a guy that was due. That's a guy seeing Jeff Hoffman 2 nights in a row. The pinch hit the night before. He comes in tonight and he's nah, this time I'm on it. I see you. I can win the game, call game. Boone for, the bullpen decisions. I mean, not so much. Loizaga, to me, I don't know. I could not. It's because we have nobody else. And I hate that, too, that the Yankees do that. They know Loizaga doesn't have it, or but they still line him up in his lane, and they're with the series on the line and his losing streak on, well, we got to go to Loizaga. Loizaga gets the blown. Loizaga gets the blown save. But I give Boone credit for going to get Weaver. Weaver was losing command, getting ahead of the counts. And, he got him when he did. And man, props to Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver is a guy. I don't know if you guys listen to Talking Yanks today. I gotta send that cut too, if I can find it, man. Of Aaron Boone getting pissed at John Boy because John Boy is talking about how he likes Luke Weaver's responses in the press conferences post game, and Boone was like, "That's one guy." It's hilarious that we actually have a podcast where the man of the Yankees goes on and these random dudes can just ask him anything and he answers it. But Luke Weaver has been super solid since he wasn't solid. In his last 4 games, Katie Sharp reports he's gone 6 1/3 innings pitched, only giving up 1 hit, no runs, striking out 6, 2 walks, 1 hit by pitch with 24 batters faced. That is the setup man that the Yankees envisioned. That is the former starter that the Yankees envisioned being able to get you more than 3 outs. He's been solid when we need him right now after a couple bumps in a road, giving up homers, blowing games. Let me find that audio to play. I don't know if this is it, and I gotta find it, man. But I was listening to Talking Yanks today, and I was cracking up at Boone. He was fired up. He was on one today, and he did a good job. But I'll say, Boone talks about how the mindset he wants his players to be in. But he also did lean into the fact that the media is poking and prodding, and the questions that they're asking, they're trying to get a certain response. I even saw Clint Frazier lean into Randy Miller today. I'll get all this stuff. Let me get another call in. We'll break. I'll get all this stuff to my producer to play. Moose is in Jamaica on the fan. What's up, Moose?
You're Keith. What I do?
What up?
I'm here to talk Yankees and celebrate the win, but I want to tell you I did follow you on Twitter. I emailed.
Oh, I saw your email, bro. You're hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
I get a lot of random emails. No, it's supposed to be for business inquiries.
I just want to tell you. Yo, tell him. Well, you ain't got much time. Tell him.
I check my email right before I leave to come here. The subject is me pitching. Hey, KM, it's Moose, caller from your show. I'm just hitting you up to show you what I can still do sliming the baseball at 35 years old. I got the paperwork to fill out for Queens College, a Division II SUNY school to try out for the team. Here's some clips. CUNY College, University of New York.
You know what's crazy? Keith? 85 or 90 in Division II. So he's touching 95. If a scout from another college sees me, they might scoop me up.
So he sends me a Google Drive link with him at Springfield Park Athletic Fields, and it is 7 videos of Moose from Jamaica, trying to be Kenny Powers.
No. Whatchamacallit? Who pitched for the Royals today?
Rich Hill. Rich Hill tied Edwin Jackson for 14 teams. Rich Hill just pitched for his 14th team. That's an MLB record.
No, but they're willing to give me a tryout if I do all the necessary physical, get my body examined, and
they'll
include
bro.
me in there.
Live out your dreams. It is not too late. Go dominate those 20-year-olds.
Honestly, cooking them. I'll be cooking them. But no, I'm here to celebrate the win. And real quick, because you got to go. I was now, the way the game started, it just invigorated me with this belief, the Yankees are good at flushing terrible losses. They lose some losing streaks, but when they do show fight, they can flush previous bad losses, come back. And even when it was tied 4-4 going after the 6th, I was like, one at bat, maybe one swing, one rally, and Bryce provided it. And Desmond Williams, like you said, he said, as soon as I can call my own pitches, if I unlock something, I got all the confidence. I don't shake. So, yeah, I never lost belief, even when they tied the score. I really thought they were going to come back and win.
Not me.
I'm trying to. No, but Keith, let me, if I can, I'll close with this. I've seen my Yankees from the moment I first laid eyes on them on TV or going to games, one game as a kid or whatever, just always come back, never say die. So I remember that, and I always believe every game I watched, they were never going to lose. So I'm going to keep that same energy while watching them, as opposed to most of the frustrated Yankee fans that they're not the same. I'm like, why can't we believe? Because as fans, that's as much as we can do and as far as we can go. I'm only going to try to help and show love to a city where
that's great.
They don't love their players if they don't win.
That's the way to be, and I'm not going to tell you how to be. I'm way more pessimistic. I'm way more uncomfortable. I'm pacing around. I'm rearranging the pillows on my couch. I'm washing dishes. I can't even look at the game straight on because I'm like, they're about to blow this game. I got to be on Blue Jays Talk Plus in the morning, and I'm going to get mocked for this streak and them losing the series again. All right, 888-808-1019. We'll do the big shot of the night when we come back, and I will cue up some audio from Talking Yanks. Keith McPherson on the Fan, BRB.
Paying all those streaming services and getting your meals from a vending machine? BT and Sal ain't charging. Hang with your boys for lunch.
All right, just cue up the big shot instrumental, and I'll try and find this Aaron Boone audio, and then you're out because Fleegs will come right in. You said Fleegs isn't in tonight? Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Did he talk about KD and... I wanted to catch that. I followed him specifically on Twitch to watch that, but I'm sure people are going to clip it up. Yeah. And bygones, they let bygones be bygones. It's in the past. So I'm trying to find.
There's a shit ton of it I chopped up in the.
Okay.
In the
let me see if I can go in with Alex then and try and get some of it because I'm like
Morning
I listened
show.
to the whole podcast today and I've been kind of going through Twitter to see what people have. It's
I chopped up
hilarious.
the
Boone is.
Alex, morning show folder, but go down because it was the first stuff I put in today. What Keith's looking for. Good? Yeah. Sure?
Are you popping on it? You want it? Oh my God. He has a ton of spots.
Oh, that I can't see. Yeah, he's listening. I cut up a bunch of Boone with John Boy on Talking Yanks because he kind of lost his mind is strong, but he got upset. So I chopped it up, but Keith was looking for it. So I told him to go. That's why he's listening to it with Alex to see which cuts he wants. Because nobody really put it online. But I found the article. Nobody has like the little snippets, like the 15-second stuff. So it's hard to like. So I chopped it up.
Yo, he's queuing up some of Aaron Boone.
The John Boy?
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
That shit up.
Yeah. Because I didn't see any small snippets either.
No,
so I grabbed a chunk and then I chopped it up.
No, the main parts of Boone getting animated are all in there.
Yeah. All right, we'll have some fun. How you feeling? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Roll. Let's roll.
I like the. Well, that's what I want. I don't care what you want. Well, okay then. It's just like
it's great.
It's just funny the way they kind of did it.
Like
And the way he changed the subject 2 seconds later. Oh my God.
I used to work with Jimmy, and I know Jimmy in his own like head thinks like he's on the level where he can like talk to Boone, but Boone does not look at him like that. Like, I don't care what you want.
It's a good question. It's a good answer. It was just funny the way he then kind of said it and then rolled into another question because you could tell he just wanted it out. You know, all right, Boone annoyed for 3 minutes. Let's move to something else. Good morning at 12 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Yankees coughing up a 4-1 lead in the fifth, but this time able to respond. Ben Rice, a solo shot in the ninth, lifted the Yankees by the Blue Jays 5-4. Bombers putting to bed a 5-game losing streak in Toronto while ending their 11-game home streak as well. That's right, son. Yes, Jazz Chisholm, Cody Bellinger each went deep. Bellinger 3 hits. Yankees pulled to within 3 in the division. Meanwhile, an impressive couple of days for Francisco Alvarez in his return. Brandon Nimmo followed with an RBI single later in the inning. Mets up at the Angels 3-2. Howie Rose the call, Odyssey Mets Radio. Frankie Montas giving up 2 runs over 5 2/3. Ryan Stanek, his third save. Well, Garrett Wilson got his money. Now he's looking to make sure the Jets snap that postseason drought. And the Giants considering him day-to-day. Andrew Thomas, though, begins training camp on the PUP list. 72 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
The big shot of the night is brought to you by WFAN and me, Keith McPherson. Bright lights in the big city. You know we got a bunch of big shots. So let's pour up a double shot. Let's start with the make it happen Mets. They're making it happen. They win again. They win the series. And I think this whole vibe and energy that you're feeling right now is because of the return of El Troll Francisco Alvarez. So I got to go with Alvarez. He homers for the first time since he's been back, lights that place up, tying the game, and then they go on to score one more run and win it. Honorable mention will go to Pablo Sanchez as well. They're trying to make him the new Grimace. And since he stepped on the field Sunday against the Reds, the Mets won that game, and they've won the 2 games after. So it's a thing until it's not a thing. And on the Yankee side, Benny Blanco Arroz. Ben Rice, bro. Like, clutch, call game, was so due. Hadn't homered since June 24th. And just smacks that ball, grabs his bat, chucks it, and wins the game for the Yankees in the top of the ninth. Ends the Toronto Blue Jays 11-game home winning streak, 5-game win streak over the Yankees. The Yankees' 9-game road losing streak in the division, and evens up the series for Max Fried. Honorable mention, what the belly, saved by the bell. Play Cody Bellinger every day. I don't care if you play him at left, center, right, first base. There's just no numbers that you can tell me Cody Bellinger's bat is not needed in the lineup and his glove is not needed in the field. Big yesterday. Good morning. Here's Aaron Boone on Talking Yanks, and it's made its round. Shout out to Marco, who already clipped it up and had it in the system as I was going to look for parts of it on Twitter. But Jimmy and Jake They talked to Aaron Boone and they asked him the questions. That's one thing I give them credit about. It has certainly evolved as far as Aaron Boone's appearance on Talking Yanks on Tuesdays. Obviously, the Yankees are fully in on it. The Yes Network is fully in on it. These episodes go to the Yes Network. But what I'll say is John Boy and Jake are not afraid to ask the questions that the fans want to know, about the post-game stuff, about, the team mentality and, things that clearly Aaron Boone got a little bit upset about. If you go back to the Toronto game 1, where Vladdy is motoring home and slides in head first. And, it just seemed like the Toronto Blue Jays were playing with a little bit more energy than the Yankees. They talk about that. They talk about Luke Weaver, Luke Weaver has done a great job as far as like answering questions in the postgame when he's failed, compared to some other guys who, fans will say lack accountability. Let's run through some audio from Aaron Boone talking on Talking Yanks today. Alex, just try to set the scene with the titles that are in the system, so we're not just going blindly into Boone, saying things.
Yeah. So the first one, he talks about how basically he got asked like if the players want it, and this was his response to it.
So this is great, but this doesn't come through.
Because everyone handles things different. Some people will give you colorful answers.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that meaty answer. Some guys throw their helmet. Does that make you feel good? Some guys are calm. Like, stop it. It doesn't mean a guy cares more or less because he dives into home plate. Okay?
Stop it. Aaron Boone said he gave some guys give you a meaty answer. Hey, yo. What's the next one we have? I just think Boone pulls up and does Talking Yanks, like probably with just like a MacBook in his hotel room on Zoom, on StreamYard or something. And obviously he's got a relationship and a rapport with John Boy and Jake. He's done live events with them. He's known them and connected with them for a while. They're on that level where he can talk like that and there's no hard feelings and he'll be back next week. What's the next one we have in the system?
Yeah, the next one he talks about it's not good to be emotional during or after.
Right, I referenced this.
We've been pretty good over the years of like compartmentalizing and dealing with the everyday grind of the regular season and playing in New York and you start getting emotional and going down that road. It's a bad trait.
He's right, though. He's right. Like, these guys do have to take the 162 game approach of like, turn the page. It's a new day. You're going to win some. You're going to lose some. Forget about it. And clearly that's what they did last night, right? Like, they fought to win that game and didn't let the first game bleed into the next one and beat them. They came out early and scored. They rallied back to get the win. Give us one more, maybe two more max, and then we'll get back to the calls. 888-808-1019. Whatever the next Aaron Boone cut is from him talking on Talking Yanks today about the players, maybe Volpe. I know Luke Weaver was a topic in there because Luke Weaver gives good meaty responses in the post game.
Yeah, so this one is how he talks about how everyone's sort of different, or like he's upset that he thinks that everyone's different.
Okay.
I get it. I guess there's just a difference. Like, Weaver had a couple bad outings. The way he talked to the media, it felt honest, and it felt.
Okay,
and he was like,
everyone's different. Stop with the reaction of how a guy answers a frickin' question.
Hey, so there you have it. You guys wanted Aaron Boone to be fired up and pissed off. Well, he didn't do it on the Yes post game 2 nights ago, but he got on Talking Yanks yesterday and he laid into Jimmy and Jake because those guys can be hella annoying. Justin is in Floral Park on the Fan. What's up, Justin?
Keith, what's going on, buddy?
Hanging out, talking.
Well, good win, but Keith, I can't see Loizaga. I just can't see him in a tightrope game. I mean,
me either. I'm like, game over. I literally tweeted out like, oh, FML. Like, this is what we have to do. We have nowhere else to go but Loizaga.
The Mets wanted him. Let's send him to the Mets, and I'll take Brett Beatty back and play third base. Okay, seriously.
I'll take a prospect. They can go lower than Brett Beatty. Send anything for Loizaga. He's done. It's over.
He's cooked. I'm telling you, this is crazy talk, but I would honestly bring back IKF just to put a little pressure on Volpe at short. I really would, because I don't know what we're going to have to give up to get Hayes. I think IKF won't cost as much. And honestly, IKF could play third too. I honestly would do it because Volpe's got to sit down at least a game or two. This is getting ridiculous. I mean, he's doing stuff that my 12-year-old Little League team does. I mean, it's ridiculous. He can't make plays.
Yeah, it's concerning.
Play.
It's concerning for a Gold Glover that they want to tell you is elite and one of the top shortstops. He cannot make routine plays, and it's obvious it's in his head, and they have no other option. And I think he knows that too. He's on an island. Like, it's just me. They can't send me down.
I mean, even when the Yankees won those days, they had like Mariano Duncan that could back up if Jeter made a mistake. Dude, they got to do something. This kid just can't handle the pressure. And it's going to cost him. It cost him in Game 5 of the World Series, Keith, where they couldn't go to anybody. Why not get a guy
that gets
plugged in there, Keith? And
I can't live through the rest of the season into the postseason when this happens again, and then it's like, yo, you knew better.
Keith, you know, pitching and defense wins championships. We don't have
and that was supposed to be what they were going for with this pivot in the offseason. That's supposed to be what they were trying to fix.
But the problem is the shortstop's getting worse. And that's supposed to be the best defender on your team outside of center field. And that's the problem. So, Cashman, stop being stubborn and get a bench guy in here that can at least give a little pressure to Volpe, that can at least give him, give him a day off or two.
Yeah, there's definitely something to that. Thanks for the call, Justin. I'm not interested in IKF. IKF couldn't do it here. I don't think you double back and give up something for IKF. Like, there are other options. Go somewhere else. I'm big on no more second tours. But there's a thought to Volpe having some competition. Iron sharpens iron. Wait a minute. Didn't Volpe win the job when he was competing against Peraza and IKF? Didn't he wow us in spring training because he had to compete? Yo, everybody should be a little fearful of losing their job. I don't care who you are. Everybody should be kind of like watching over their shoulder a bit. Everybody should be thinking, hey, if I don't work and I don't produce and I don't succeed and I don't win, somebody's coming to replace me, especially if you're the shortstop of the New York Yankees. If you're not going to send him down, you're obviously not going to trade him. At least bring somebody in to push him, even if it's just pushing him in pregame warmups, right? A little bit of competition. Hey, they're going to hit 10 ground balls this way, 5 to your left, 5 to the right. You got to field all of them and throw them to first clean. First guy to make a mistake loses. Like, they got to do stuff like that. Something has to change because there's too many times. And like, I don't know, I guess I want to blame the turf in Toronto. It's a fast turf, but there's just too many times where it's like, you got to have these plays back-to-back nights. They're routine plays you got to have. And they don't have them. Mike is in Massapequa next on the Fan. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, Keith? No, I got a couple of points. I hope you let me get them all in, right? I think it starts from the top. I look at Boone, and every night in the post game, he'll explain this guy had a great stuff. We had great at bats. He's talking about players that were 0 for 4, right? And I look at it that when you look at the Yankees, like let's say this kid Dominguez. Okay, he's batting like 140 or 150 from the right side. I mean, why wouldn't we just tell him you're strictly a left-handed hitter, period? You can't hit worse than 140 even if you're facing a left-hander, right?
Boone has already campaigned for him. Boone has already said they like what they see. They just want him to see more at-bats. And he's young.
I understand.
No, but I'm with you, bro. I'm just saying what Boone has already said in regards to that.
It's not happening, right? And then I say to myself, we know about third base. We're in bad shape at third. And if you watch the kid Volpe play, I think there's something wrong with his arm. That's what my personal belief.
I think he's hurt. A lot of people are talking about the shoulder injury, but that was May 3rd and was a left shoulder, him sliding or diving, that still can't be lingering. We're coming up on that being 2 months ago. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was at that game, and he did get injured. I'm just saying maybe overplaying him. His throws don't seem right. And I got to be honest with you. I mean, this, to me, watching the Yankees when I watch Volpe play, you know, I was at games where he made a throw to third when he could have just very easily had, you know, went the other way and he threw the ball in the dirt.
Kind of panics.
And when you're playing ball as a young player, you know, even just growing up, you know, you always thought, know what you're going to do with the ball before it hits you. Right. It almost seems like it's not. Now, he's got in his mind that Shaw's a fast runner and so on and so forth. He had plenty of time to throw him out, right? They just always think that, you know, let's say Goldschmidt or whoever is just going to scoop up the ball like Anthony Rizzo did. But the bottom line is the team stinks. They stink. There's no fear in the lineup other than Bellinger, other than Judge, right? Chisholm, you know, Chisholm's hitting the ball well, but you look at it, there's 230, 240. Your catches 230. Your other guy is, you know, 140 from the right side. He made a big deal out of Volpe hitting 2 home runs. Volpe was stuck on 49 RBIs for like 15 games. You can't have that.
And he's right back to where he was. Thanks for the call, Mike. I mean, they don't stink. I mean, I won't go as far to say they stink, but you know, this is what happens. We, as Yankee fans, expect more, expect them to be better. They should have 50. They should have 60 wins by now. They're 56-45. They should be better than that. They should be in first place. They smoked that 7.5 game lead. They're 3 games back. But like as you watch them, you know, night to night, you kind of fall down the rabbit hole. You spiral a bit. That happened to me last night in my rant. I didn't even realize it today until it got posted. I called out Goldie. He had a bad night. 3 strikeouts after the first single he had. He struck out 3 times the rest of the game. And then, you know, he couldn't make some of those picks at first base. I feel like the Volpe throw, like, okay, Peraza pulled you off. Now you got to be on high alert. We got to have the next one. But yeah, in my rambling and ranting and just being pissed off, I guess my wording was wrong because people have tried to completely, jump on my back and cancel me, which I don't care. It's fun. It's all internet, whatever. I'll survive it. But I guess when it got clipped, and our digital guys are good, they'll clip one thing and they'll write something else on it. It says, Keith is fed up with slumping Paul Goldschmidt. Now, Paul Goldschmidt was slumping, but they started resting him and started figuring out how to get him going. And he's been good. He's been better. Now he's lost his pop. He's not hitting for, power. He's not hitting extra base hit, but he's still hitting some singles and his average is there. But in my spiraling last night, kind of like the last caller, they stink. No, they don't stink. They're still a potential division winner, and we expect them to go to the postseason. But you can kind of say things. So what I was getting at and how I should have worded it, I guess last night I said Goldie has worn off for me. He's turning back into what a lot of people feared at the end of last season. What I meant is like the Goldie effect from when we signed him. I was pumped about Goldie. And he came out and was batting .360, and he was hitting home runs and doubles. And I'm like, this guy's not old. Well, it has worn off for me some now that we're in July going into August, where I'm not expecting that from him. I'm more so expecting him to turn back into what people were talking about last year. But I owe Goldie an apology. It was one off night, one bad night. But it did make me also think about the fact that we have Goldie playing first base, platooning with Ben Rice, but also Bellinger who can play first base. It really goes back to roster construction. It goes back to Cashman. It goes back to having too many guys and not enough spots in the lineup or out in the field. And something's got to change here at this deadline. They could afford to lose somebody. Now, I would say shop Paul Goldschmidt because he's not going to be here in the future. He's 38 years old. Maybe somebody could grab him and use him. But then tonight, when you see Ben Rice playing first base, you're like, no, we need Paul Goldschmidt. He has saved Volpe probably from having 16 errors. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just tailed off for me with Goldie as far as like I was expecting to have a little bit more pop, a little bit more extra base hits. But I saw a bunch of people responding, Goldie's hitting 300, Goldie. And when you think about it, when you think about the Yankees, they're not going to trade him because as far as right-handed hitters go on this team, you have Judge, and then you have him. And then Stanton, obviously, for power, but like they don't have enough right-handed hitters on this team to just trade Goldie. So I expect Cashman to keep these guys, and fingers crossed that, once the deadline passes, hopefully they add a right-handed hitting third baseman, which I'm not even Eugenio Suarez, and his power is great, but he strikes out a ton. And today I went and looked up the numbers for the, who leads the league in errors. Yeah, he's up there too. I think he's got 11 on the season. He's not too far away from Anthony Volpe. So can you imagine, like, you get this guy and he stops homering and he's committing errors in the infield and he's striking out a ton? No, we need somebody who can absolutely pick it at third base, which can help Anthony Volpe, somebody that might be cutting in front of Anthony Volpe, taking some of the workload away from him, and then somebody that can put the ball into play. If that's Ryan McMahon or Key Brian Hayes or Willie Castro, run that instead for me. And then when we get to October, you got to keep these guys that have been clutch, like a Ben Rice, like a Trent Grisham. And even if they're on the bench, they can come in and pinch hit late in games. They can come in and pinch hit when that chess game is being played, manager versus manager. I expect Cashman to keep these guys and add one right-handed hitting third baseman, and they're going to continue to change the lineup, and you're going to continue to see the rotation of Dominguez or Grisham or Belly or Rice or Goldschmidt coming off the bench, pinch hit. It's how they're going to play this year. It just is what it is. Let's go to Eddie in North Belmore on the Fan. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, Keith. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm a huge Mets fan. Just got back from the game, actually. But I just wanted to kind of address the Yankee situation because, to be honest, I'm someone who also appreciates good baseball, not just the Mets playing. And obviously, I dislike the Yankees. But I can put that aside for now because watching Vivas and Peraza play third base, it's frustrating. Obviously, they DFA'd LeMahieu and moved Chisholm over to second. But I heard names like IKF and Key Brian Hayes and Ryan McMahon get thrown around. So I want to see what you think the most kind of realistic option for the Yankees at third entering the trade deadline is here.
Yeah, no, I queued you up to kind of continue that conversation, and stay with me because I do want to talk a little Mets as well, since you just said you came from the game. I just said Eugenio Suarez being a home run hitter, sure. You add him to this lineup, I mean, with the power that they have in this lineup, that's crazy. I wouldn't hate it, but I also feel like it's going to be such a high cost. And the Yankees have made so many trades over the years, sending away arms like a J.P. Sears or a Michael King. It's tough to see then. And supposedly the Diamondbacks want pitching. It's tough to think that they're going to send, Arizona, like, I don't know, Ben Hess and Cam Schlittler and a couple other guys. I think the cost is going to be cheaper for a Key Brian Hayes, for Willie Castro, Ryan McMahon, maybe even a Royce Lewis. There's a couple other names out there. Like, I need somebody that is going to play a plus, third base defensively, but then also put the ball in play. I don't need another home run hitter. They don't have enough like slap hitters. They don't have enough guys that can hit slap singles. They don't have enough guys in the lineup that are just going to get on. I think they need a little bit more like that. They have enough power.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a huge haul for Suarez because he's been just so good this year. And I mean, I heard you talk about IKF before. That would probably be really frustrating for that kind of second go around, just because of how badly he performed at the Yankees that first time.
I wouldn't risk it. I saw the worst of it here when they traded for him and they tried to make him the shortstop. I would not risk giving up anything for IKF and then him coming back to Yankee Stadium and him having the yips. Like, they literally had to play Oswald Peraza in the ALCS because that guy just was in an absolute bad one. Like, he was just in a bad run of, like, he couldn't make plays. He couldn't field his position. Now, you said you came back from the game. How was the crowd? How was the energy tonight? I feel like the Mets have had a run here of good crowds. I've talked about the home field advantage that they possess. What was the vibe like in whatever section you were in? Like, tell us what Citi Field felt like for you tonight.
Yeah, the crowd was really awesome. It was almost a sellout crowd, actually, for a Tuesday night. Not too bad. I mean, it's summer, so people are going to come out to the ballpark. But like when Alvy kind of did his thing there. It was pretty awesome to see, and the crowd is just electric, especially when guys like Francisco Alvarez go to the minors and kind of get their groove back and come back up. It's electric, and the crowd just goes nuts for them, so I love to see it.
How is the crowd responding to Pete Alonso's struggles, Francisco Lindor's struggles? Does it seem like people are worried, or they're just like, hey, it is what it is. It's a slump. These are our guys. They're going to break out of it. But did you feel a little bit of like people sighing or people getting frustrated with those two?
Yeah, people definitely get frustrated, but I mean, like, people stand behind Lindor because he was the starting shortstop in the All-Star game, and people are still going to sing his walk-up song. As much as Yankee fans hate that, they're going to do it, They kind of rally behind him.
Yankee fans hate his walk-up song? That's one thing that it does not fail. That walk-up song, they sing it every single time, even through an 0 for 30. Yankee fans don't like that walk-up song?
That's what I'm hearing right now.
Maybe. I didn't know that. I mean, there are some Yankee fans that don't like anything about Citi Field and the Mets. What about Juan Soto? Juan Soto isn't necessarily hitting the ball out of the park, but he had 3 walks today, and he's stealing bases. He got his career high stolen bases. Do they, applaud his walks and his steals? Like, he's still contributing. He's doing something.
Yeah, I mean, we still love Soto because you see kind of Lindor last year didn't make the All-Star game, but he finished really high in the MVP voting. So you wonder if a guy like Soto can kind of do that in the last 3 months of the year, kind of make a run at the MVP, even after being snubbed in the All-Star game. But as far as Soto goes, he had one great month of hitting. He could definitely pick it back up because obviously you've seen what he did with the Yankees. He was electric, sent them to the World Series with the ALCS homer off Gaddis. And I mean, he can carry a team with one little turnaround. He starts hitting, and the kind of atmosphere of a team completely changes. So hopefully he picks it up. But I mean, it's been okay.
You're winning games. You're winning games despite the top guys not coming through. You're winning games, not scoring that much. I know they put up 7 the other night, but like to squeak out a win to win the series tonight, 3-2. And get the pitching that you got to be happy about that. Eddie, thanks for the call, man. 888-808-1019. We got to break it down here. Keith McPherson on the fan. I got some Mets calls. Let's see. I got a Mets bullpen call coming up. We've got some Yankee trade targets, Aaron Boone, and, of course, Yankees, Anthony Volpe, shortstop situation. What are the Yankees going to do with Volpe? Nothing. It's going to keep going through the motions and tell you this is fine. All right. 888-808-1019. We'll be right back.
From the first pitch to the final whistle, WFAN delivers wall-to-wall.
All right, let me get active with the chat. Let me see where I'm at. One, let me retweet my own tweet. Let me see. Chatting. Quote tweet my own tweet. Chatting. Pull up. On YouTube. I try and get the YouTube going, bro. The YouTube is cooking for real. Like, that's where it's at, man. We slowly building that YouTube community. And there's gonna come a time when I do like the membership stuff, or I do some exclusive content stuff, where it's got to keep growing. I'm talking to some folks about a lot of different things. YouTube is the way. Like, YouTube is going to overtake cable television. YouTube, having a presence on YouTube, having a community on YouTube is very valuable. So as I do every single night, I start with, I appreciate y'all in here. You could be doing anything. You could be asleep. You could be watching somebody play Twitch video game. Alex was just telling me Kyrie Irving was live on Twitch. You could be watching a movie. You could be listening to another radio station. But you're listening to this radio station via my live stream on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So make sure y'all bang that yada that I mean too. Make sure y'all hit that yeah. And let me see. Man, all these other teams fans are trolling us politely. This is horrible. Nah, bro. Jeter don't even want to come to Old Timers Day, bro. I'm starring that. I'm right now I'm going through the chat. I'm gonna pull what you guys are saying and bring it to the radio. Right, Juan is getting on. And Juan did have a big hit 2 nights ago to drive in 2 runs. Pete is definitely pressing. Brian Trash, man. Nah. His resume is pristine. He's just got to get to the World Series and win it. Hopefully he's saving it for playoffs. Reminds me of Carper. I never expected Goldie to produce the whole season. He's older. Yeah. You know, I tweaked a little bit in my rant saying what I said, and people were starting to jump all over me. Like, do you even watch the games? Like, bro, you think I don't watch the games and come talk about all these little things? What I was saying, I just worded incorrectly. Like, he had a bad night. It was just a bad night. Let's see. Keith, go ahead and check out Jahmai Jones baseball savant. Where's he with the Tigers? Jahmai Jones not doing shit, right? He's with the Tigers or no? Yeah, he's with Detroit. He's got a handful of at bats. 25. Let's see. 2025, he's got 28 games played, 56 plate appearances. I'm off that. There's nothing to see there. That's who y'all want to get for third base, Jahmai Jones. That's cold. They would take him back. Most of this chat is all Rodney. I'm reading all Rodney's. Rodney, you over there typing like the like the Kermit gif. Can we add gifs to this? You over there like I'm reading all your paragraphs. Keith, how amazing would it be for breaking news during your show from the Yankees? Can it please just happen already? I would love that. I would love for there to be a trade before 2 a.m., but I doubt it. They're in Toronto and they're asleep right now. David Stearns is working. I bet you in the morning David Stearns have a bunch of roster moves. Bring back Didi. Man, I heard somebody on the fan today say Volpe replaced Jeter. What are you talking about? Not even close. Not even close, yo. I do want to talk Jets. Let me collect some of my Jets and Giants stuff, as a matter of fact. And I got some positive energy for the Yankee fans. Ozzy Osbourne died. I ain't mentioned that yet. I just I don't know. And even like Malcolm Jamal Warner, like I RIP to all the dead. But like I feel like I gotta have a connection with you to shout you out on my show. I didn't watch the Cosby Show growing up for real. I didn't listen to Ozzy Osbourne music ever. I didn't even watch his MTV show. Yeah, it's like, bro, I don't know what it is. All right, let's switch back.
Oh, Big Zoo on the ones and the twos. Keith McPherson on the fan. Let's get back to it. 888-808-1019. Okay, some good news for the Yankee fans. Buster Only reported today that the Yankees are 4 games behind the Jays in the AL East. Now it's 3. And lead the wild card race by 2 games. Now if I check the standings for the wild card, they're up 3. And so Buster goes on to say something worth remembering down the stretch per Fangraphs is that the Yankees have the easiest remaining schedule for any AL team. This is how they'll wrap the season starting September 15th. They'll have 3 games against Minnesota, 4 games at Baltimore, 3 games versus the White Sox, and 3 games versus Baltimore. So, if you wonder why the Yankees don't have as much urgency as we have, if you wonder why Anthony Volpe tells you it's the middle of July, if you wonder why they're just like, hey, whatever, yo, like, we got time, it's because they do actually have time on their side and the schedule on their side. They don't have to go back out west. The Mets are about to go out west. And where they are right now, this is a crucial stretch for the Yankees coming home. And I hope that people do show up. I said people will show up. They're a money machine. They're gonna have fans. But like that's home field advantage. I hope that there are a ton of fans there. I'm planning on going to the game. I think Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday. So every other day. Just because like I don't know. I'm the type of guy. As the summer starts to burn, and I start to realize there's less and less games left, I start to ramp up my pace. I start to ramp up the amount of games I go to because I know when it gets cold and the season's over, I'm gonna miss going to the stadium. The Yankees got to win. Like this Philly series coming up is crucial. 3 games against Philly. I know it's National League, but like the level of competition is up there, and I'm sure some Met fans will be rooting for the Yankees to handle the Phillies. And then 4 against Tampa, man, got to put your foot on their throat. Got to absolutely dominate them. And then when the Yankees return home from Miami and Texas facing the Marlins and the Rangers, the Houston Astros come into town as the dog days of August start, August 8th, 9th, and 10th. And I'm telling you, it's going to be turned up because it's the Astros. People haven't forgotten. And like, there's so many casual fans. Like, people are going to shout F Altuve, and people are going to be chanting cheater. And like, there's just so many fans that don't understand that like 2017 and 2019 was so long ago. Like, oh, the Astros are coming. We hate the Astros. Like, not really, but like, sure. So 888-808-1019. I just mentioned the Mets are heading out west. They need to go ahead and sweep the Angels. They need to go ahead and handle business tonight against Anaheim and keep the win streak going and keep this whole, new vibe of Pablo Sanchez from Backyard Sports going and whatever, man. Whatever. They haven't had too many gimmicks. They passed on naming Lindor captain. I think that's hurting him right now. I think it was definitely in his head. I think he was thinking that he was going to get that bestowed upon him, and it didn't happen. But here comes Sean Manaea. Oh, it's a day game. Here comes Sean Manaea at 1:10 p.m. Versus Brock Burke. So Sean Manaea, hopefully they stretch him out a little bit more and they give him a longer leash, and maybe Lindor breaks out of it, Alonso breaks out of it because it is a quick turnaround. They'll probably rest Alvarez, but he'll be available for, some pinch hitting. And you got to sweep Anaheim, have a happy flight before you go out west to face the Giants and the Padres, because those are going to be, tough fought series. As I joked before about, the Yankees, and I said there's like 9 teams better than the Yankees. Like when you go to MLB.com and you look at the standings, and if you go to MLB right now, the Yankees have the 9th best record, but the Padres are right behind them. I mean, any given day, I know we beat the Padres when they were here, Dylan Cease, Shove, whatever. But the Padres, any given day, are they're right there with the Yankees, and San Francisco's not far behind either. 888-808-1019. Let's go to Phil in Sheepshead Bay next on the
Hey,
phone.
Pete. You mentioned earlier, that's me. I'm talking about the Mets bullpen. I see Waddell, DFA'd, Davinsky, and these guys are coming and going like they're trying to checkerboard. Maybe they're looking to pick up maybe Bautista from the Orioles. Clase, I don't know, big question mark. Suarez, you got Bednar in Pittsburgh. What's your take on all this? Why are all these coming and going?
Yeah, I think it's David Stearns. Thanks for the call, Phil. I respect it. I made a joke that like David Stearns is always working. He's working right now. He's waking up in the morning, and you're going to get that alert, more roster moves. They just keep massaging this bullpen right now because they know it's no good, and they're waiting to strike. Now, Emmanuel Clase, I don't believe is going to be moved. You're going to have to give up a lot to get him. But there's some other guys that we're not even thinking about. Maybe Bautista from the Orioles, but there are other names that we aren't even thinking about that I expect David Stearns to go get to shore up this bullpen. And it goes a long way that you got a good performance the last couple nights. I wouldn't be surprised if, some of these guys that got sent away are back. They have been doing this whole merry-go-round. Dickie Lovelady, Zach Pop, Chris Davinsky, Rico Garcia. Like, these guys are going to be trivia questions. They're going to be like, when you get to the end of the season and they play that game about the Mets roster, there's going to be like, you got to try and figure out, who these missing guys are from the Mets bullpen. It's been up and down of, just these random guys in and out of there, guys being sent down, guys coming back. Kevin Hergert, as well as Kevin Hergert pitched for them, they still were like, hey, see you later. They're playing matchups and they're using guys that have options. And I think that is just David Stern's method of getting through right now until they can actually, punch it in and make the moves at the deadline that they want to make. And they're winning. They just won this series against the Angels. They got a 3-game win streak, so it's working. It's good enough. But yeah, it's kind of crazy too as I'm looking at the calendar. Yeah, it is Wednesday, July 23rd now, but obviously we're in the middle of the night and we're 45 minutes into the day. We've got to go through this whole day, but tomorrow is a week from the trade deadline. I don't know how many times I got to say it. The deadline is the last time you can make a move. I know Cashman's going to wait until 4 p.m., 5 p.m. to make his moves, but I remember the Mets being proactive, whether it was Billy Epler, even with David Stearns, like, go and make some little moves to help the team now. Maybe they will. Maybe they will with the off day, the travel day. Maybe they trade for somebody who is out west that can join them out west. I don't know. I would trust David Stearns. David Stearns also told you they're looking for relief help. He didn't tell you that they're looking for a center fielder. Didn't tell you that they're looking for any other bats. But that also, to me, is not showing your hand. Obviously they need relief help because of the musical chairs of different relievers that they keep setting up and down. But I don't know. Let Stearns cook. This is year 2. This is year 2 for him. And you have an owner that expects this team to get to the World Series. And right now they're not good enough to get to the World Series. You need a lot better, like, high leverage relievers. And I know they expect their bats to wake up. I do. I was saying that last night. I'm like, if you're winning right now with the bottom of the order, Alvarez, Beatty, Mauricio, those guys getting it done, you know when it comes, postseason time and you need guys to be clutch, the Mets have guys that are postseason proven that you don't have to worry about. Lindor is going to come through. Alonso is going to come through. That's what Soto does. So just got to get through, this last week until the deadline, and then help is on the way. There should be some reinforcements. And you push through the National League through August, September, and you see where things land. Like, the Dodgers came down to earth some. It's kind of interesting now to see the NL Central. The Cubs and the Brewers are neck and neck. Those guys are rivals. That's like the Red Sox and Yankees being up there. The Dodgers came back down to earth. They've had some struggles. Mookie Betts, I know I had in my notes yesterday, it was a graphic where Mookie Betts had a lower OPS than Anthony Volpe. Only by a little bit. And Volpe probably dropped his OPS now, or if you look at those numbers, it didn't last for long. But yeah, it's baseball, man. It just kind of has a way to like market correct itself. And you always got to be refreshing your information because things are subject to change. But I think the Mets have enough talent. I think the Mets have the right guy driving the vehicle. Like, that's what I look at with Stearns. And I already mentioned the pitching lab. It's come back around again. Guys are performing out of that pitching lab. Stearns is making little moves. And, as long as fans keep filling up the ballpark, the vibes are right. And eventually Lindor is going to break out. Alonso is going to break out. Soto's going to be Soto again. And you hope that that's going to happen at 1:10 p.m. and then happy flight and then carry you through the West Coast trip. 888-808-1019. Let's go to Gary and Waterbury on the fan. What's up, Gary?
Mr. the Cavalier?
What up?
Yo, R.I.P. to my stepdad, Richard Brown, Guru, Fife, Prodigy, Craig Mack. All right. You know, I got to get my R.I.P.
R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. I saw that.
Yeah. Big dogs. They're all big dogs. And you won't be around next year. My rap's too severe, kicking that flavor in your ear.
Yes, sir.
And, and I have no faith in Rodon or Williams in a big spot.
Yeah, it's not going to be comforting. You're not going to be confident.
No, in a big spot, I have no faith in them two guys. And Spencer Jones, we're gonna have to give him up to get what we need.
Oh no,
we're gonna have to give him up to get what.
No, I don't think this team is a Spencer Jones trade away from winning the World Series or even getting there this year. I would not do that.
No, all right, but who do you want for third base?
Someone that's not going to call Spencer Jones.
No, but is it Arenado, Suarez?
I haven't even mentioned Arenado because they had plenty of opportunity to get Arenado. They don't want him. They don't want his contract. I think Brian Hayes is a kid that will come here. Obviously, they love the storyline of his pops being a Yankee and making that final out of the '96 World Series. And like I've told y'all, I've seen Charlie Hayes in Legends. He's still around. I think Brian Hayes is a plus defender, and I think he'll be a little bit better hitter in this Yankees lineup, batting like right above Volpe. Like I think that might be.
So that's who you want for third.
Or Ryan McMahon.
That's who you're going.
Or Ryan McMahon. Or if we dabble with the Minnesota Twins, Willie Castro or Royce Lewis. I forget the other names that are out there. Not Arenado. Suarez to me is just, I feel like he should go back to Seattle. Seattle should actually make the move to get him back with Cal Raleigh, get him back, in the Pacific Northwest as they try to make their run.
So, but if we just get Ryan, who else do we need?
David Bednar.
That's not going to put us over the top.
Nothing's going to put this team over the top besides like some type of luck and cosmic energy from the baseball gods. Like sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. That's the thing about them too. Like they can make you feel like absolute crap. Then they can make you feel euphoric. Like I don't know with this Yankees team, man. Like, are they going to have to drag Judge's ass this year, or is Judge going to actually step up and be Judge? Or like somebody's going to have to carry him, or is he going to just be himself? Or are they going to intentionally walk him like the Blue Jays intentionally walked him tonight? 7th time they've done that this year.
I know, but Williams is so gone. I don't trust Williams if my life depended on it in a big spot.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We have no choice but to trust Devin Williams. Luke Weaver is not the closer anymore. Devin Williams is the closer. He's in the role that they wanted him to be in. They give him the ball. He calls his own game. And I mean, his stuff is nasty though. Like I'm not gonna hold you tonight. Like he had some big strikeouts of Bo Bichette and Alejandro Kirk. Now, don't get me wrong. He even said in the post game, that one that Addison Barger hit. He wasn't sure if that was going to be a double. That if Vladdy is motoring potentially scores him, but it wasn't. Belly was there on the warning track. But yeah.
So you're not willing to deal Spencer Jones at no cost?
Nah. Because you know what, too, with Spencer Jones, man? Trent Grisham's not going to be on the team next year. Trent Grisham is going to sign somewhere else. They're going to have to figure out who to put in the outfield between Spencer Jones and Dominguez. Some people are even saying trade Dominguez. Spencer Jones can play center field or left field. Belly can play left field or center field. And I think there's a world where Belly gets some time at first base next year. And then you could have an outfield with Dominguez, Jones, and Judge.
We need reinforcements now. Like the future, is the future, but we need reinforcements now. So Judge has to get a ring at some point.
No, I know, and they're not going to punt on this deadline. They're not going to punt on this season because this could be the year that they get there with Judge. Anything can happen, but I don't know, man. I'm not. Spencer Jones to me is starting to look like Aaron Judge, a left-handed Aaron Judge light, where I really want to see him be on the same team as Judge and learn from Judge. He should be a little Judge clone. Like they should put their lockers right next to each other. Judge Judge should be literally sharing every like Yankee secret that he's learned, everything about being the tallest guy in the room, every single thing that he can with Spencer Jones to help Spencer Jones. He should be in the Judge mold. He is already.
I understand, but the Martian should be leading off every night.
Nah,
right or wrong.
They don't believe in him. I said, yeah. I thought we got to that point in the homestand before the All-Star break with Seattle and Chicago. I'm like, okay, Dominguez has done it. Dominguez is the leadoff hitter every game.
He should be. Give him a chance.
Nah, I think they're getting the last out of Trent Grisham, and obviously as clutch as Grisham was, you know that Grisham. Honestly, what's the biggest surprise of the Yankees season this year? Might be Trent Grisham. Might be what Trent Grisham
is. It probably is. You know, Keith, I love you, dog.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the call. 888-808-1019. What is the biggest surprise of the Yankees season so far? Ben Rice is another one, but I don't think we could be that surprised by Ben Rice. You know, he's hit for power. Maybe, though, because I did not see him catching as many games and doing as well as he did. He caught a great game on Sunday. Like, Ben Rice is someone they can't trade. I think he's really a part of this team this year and the future. First base, catcher, lefty power bat that, you know, hasn't even really, he's like, I don't know how many games he's got, but I think he's got so much more potential for growth. You know, when you look at the Yankees tonight, Volpe was 0 for 3. Vivas 0 for, and then the pinch hits for him 0 for Goldie, Peraza. Austin Wells 0 for 4. Stanton 0 for 4. I think in my notes, there was a stretch of the game tonight where they did not have a hit. It was only Belly. There was a stretch of the game tonight. I think they went from the 5th inning. They didn't have a hit from the 5th inning until Ben Rice hit that homer. Not good enough. You know, let's not forget about that too. And I know a lot of people were leaning into the left side of the defense. And I think I heard Evan saying that, oh, these Yankee fans are just complaining about the defense. No, because that lost them the game. But also, not scoring outside of Stanton's solo shot loses you the game. The offense still sputters sometimes, and they can just walk Judge, and these guys are just going to pop out, ground out, strike out, and just not be able to respond. Like, after they did, you know, botch that inning, which, you know, started with Volpe, I'm like, okay, next inning, how do they respond? Wells ground out, Goldie pinch hit, fly out, and then Volpe ends with a fly out. 1, 2, 3 inning. They go down lightly. All right, one more hour to go. I'm going to start mixing some football stuff into the conversation. Why not? If you're on the phone to talk Yanks, stay on hold. Of course, I'll get to you. Mets fans, call me up. But I got to talk about the Jets, the Giants a little bit, and just some general, things coming out of the NFL as training camp is open. Keith McPherson on the Fan. 1 hour to go. We'll be right back.
It's BT and Sal, middays 10 to 2 on the Fan, 101.9 FM. The reason Volpe's in the majors is because of the work ethic and certainly some natural gifts from God. Listen to BT.
Getting my football stuff together, looking for some other stories that came out. And I still got to get to, let's see, we need Jeter as GM. He's a winner. We're going to talk about Jeter again. And then the bring back Didi. I have two starred messages from the chat. Let's see. Football is here, man. Thank God, man. I'm ready for Inside Training Camp live. Let me see. When does Inside Training Camp live start on NFL Network? Well, it might have already started. Let's see. NFL Network's Back Together Weekend and Inside. Okay, it starts Saturday. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Do you like football? Yes. Yes, very, very much so. Yeah, Saturday, bro. It's on. It's on. Can't wait. Bro, I'll never forget Glaber, bro. Asleep at the wheel, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, you can change the players, but the same things go on because they're allowed to go on. There's not enough fear. And I say that all the time. Like, fear, we're human beings, right? Like, fear is the reason why people don't do some crazy stuff. Fear is a great motivator. Fear is necessary, especially in the workplace. If you don't have any fear of losing your job, you move differently. If you don't have any fear of repercussions, you move differently. I've been saying it for a long time. These Yankees don't fear anything. They don't fear Aaron Boone. They don't fear being traded. It was never like that, though. I heard a lot of stories from past Yankees. They feared that George Steinbrenner would ship them away and trade them. These guys don't have any fear of that. Yeah, Jack, I'm following up this conversation. I'm going to talk football this hour, but you're making some good points right there. You know, last year Glaber led all MLB second baseman with 18 errors. Now it's Volpe. Like, what? So I'm saying you could change the players. Just goes to somebody else. Somebody else is running into outs. Like Yorbit Vivas. All right, here we go. We're coming back.
Good morning at 1 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Well, Toronto's been a kryptonite for the Yankees all season as the Bombers gave back a 4-1 advantage, but Ben Rice rescued them in the ninth. A go-ahead solo shot leading to a 5-4 win over Toronto. Jazz Chisholm, Cody Bellinger each went deep. For Bellinger, 3 hits, including 2 doubles. Cam Schlittler gave up 2 runs over 5 in his second career start, while Luke Weaver stabilized things with 5 huge outs. Bombers had a 5-game skid in Toronto, pulled to within 3 in the division. For a second straight night, the Mets rallied against the Angels, coming back for a 3-2 victory. Francisco Alvarez, your game-tying 2-run shot, as he looks like the Alvarez of old in his 2 games back from AAA. Brandon Nimmo, your go-ahead RBI single. Frankie Montas gave up 2 over 5 2/3. Ryan Stanek, his third save. And Giants left tackle Andrew Thomas begins camp on the PUP list. Keep in mind he played just 6 games last year with that Liz Frank injury, 10 games in 2023, a hamstring injury, and right now being considered day-to-day. 71 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening.
Yo, Jack, to answer your question, that won't happen because someone would have to man it. Someone would have to man the WFAN YouTube channel from our digital team. There's nobody working our digital team at 1 a.m. So that's not it. That's kind of why I started doing this. Okay. A little bit after 1 a.m. on the fan in New York, as I'm looking at Dangerous Wilson on my screen. And yeah, we're going to find out how dangerous Russell Wilson is. I can't wait for football to start because all we do is talk about these players and these teams, and there's so much hope and optimism until football starts. I say it every single year. You get so amped up for that first Sunday, then your favorite team loses, your fantasy team loses, none of your parlays hit, you're losing money, and you'll be waiting all day for Sunday night. And by the time Sunday night comes around, you're cooked, and you're like, man, I'm not even gonna bet on this game. I'm about to go to bed. I don't care. But football is back, and we hype it up, man. We get so pumped for it. You know what I'm pumped for? NFL Network's 2025 back together weekend, inside training camp live. When training camp starts, man, that inside training camp coverage where they go to all the different training camps across the country, I love it. It's coming up Saturday and Sunday. It's called Back Together Weekend. All 32 NFL training camps will be on display, and they'll do that through the week too. So you'll start to see, there's guys that got traded or guys that signed somewhere in free agency. There are rookies in different places. It's just like you kind of get that refresh on the NFL season. And there's some hope and some optimism for the Giants, obviously because they have some actual quarterbacks now, and I think they drafted some talent and some characters. And I mean, just how long are you going to be bums? How long are you just going to keep losing? They got to surprise some teams. I think their calling card is going to be the defense, specifically the defensive line, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns. And then Malik Neighbors, man. Malik Neighbors in year 2. No sophomore slump. Malik Neighbors is supposed to be the next Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase just won the Triple Crown. Can Malik Neighbors go win the Triple Crown? Nah, you got to win. You got to win. I mean, the Bengals didn't win that many games, but Jamar Chase was unstoppable. So maybe he could challenge him for it. And right across the stadium, the Jets. You know what I loved about the Jets? What I saw from this video today, I've watched it like 5 times. I'm about to watch it again right now. You know, this like, I don't know, it was like drone footage of their new locker room with the lighting and, they just redesigned the Jets locker room. And I think that was needed. If you've watched one Jets drive, if you've watched Hard Knocks, there was just way too much Rob Saleh influence over the building. A lot of his quotes, a lot of the things that he wanted. And I feel like with this new regime with Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn, them revamping the locker room makes the players come to work in a completely different place. And it kind of puts the past in the past. And it's just another physical reset for the Jets franchise. I don't know how Jets fans aren't excited. I don't know how Jets fans aren't pumped up. You know, when you see Sauce Gardner there today, he's talking about, I know there's a floor, but there ain't no roof. Talking about his future with the Jets and his play. And I expect him to pick the ball off. I expect him to make some tackles. I expect him to be one of the best corners in the NFL. He already is, but like, prove it again. And Garrett Wilson, I don't know how you can't love Garrett Wilson. I don't know how you can't be a Garrett Wilson stan as a Jet fan. He said, I don't need any excuse to go play football. You know, he talked about how wanting to win, he can't talk about wanting to win and not show up.
A lot of these guys hold out. A lot of these guys, they talk a big game about the team and wanting to win and wanting to play, and then they don't show up to camp. Micah Parsons showed up to camp. We'll play some Micah Parsons audio in a minute, but I'm going to keep sprinkling in some football conversation. NFL is back, man. I need it. I am a football guy. It runs through my veins. When we get to this point of the summer, I get flashbacks to my younger life where summer is over. By the time you get to that first week of August, it's 2-a-days. It's hot. You get ready to lock in and get ready for a season. And NFL, college football, high school football, as Americans, like, this is what we do, man. When it gets to August, we're getting ready for September and the run through the season. So I'm excited for football. I'm excited to see what the NFL looks like this year and to be here to talk to you guys about it. 888-808-1019. We still have Yankee fans and Mets fans on the line. Let me read something that I just came across on Twitter. Shout out to my guy Bourbon Legend who's in the chat, and everybody in the chat that sends me stuff, like during the break. I'll refer to a couple of the things you guys sent. So 8 hours ago, and I just mentioned, Ozzy Osbourne and his passing. RIP to him. Condolences to his family. Well, Chipper Jones, the Braves legend Chipper Jones, put out a tweet, and he said, "Saddened to hear of the passing of Ozzy Osbourne today. I feel Ozzy and I will forever be linked due to his song Crazy Train. Quick story. Facing the Mets at home, I walk to the plate and I say, 'Hey, Mike Piazza, how's it going?' He says, 'I'm doing fine, Larry, but I hate this effing song.' I said, 'Well, get ready, because you're going to hear it about 5 times today.' Pretty funny. Rest easy, Ozzy." So Chipper Jones finds a way to make it about the Braves-Mets rivalry, even in his send-off tweet to Ozzy Osbourne. Ross is in Bergen County on the Fan next. What's up, Ross?
What's up, Keith? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. So I heard you bring up the Pablo Escobar, so add him to the list. And I just saw Elmo was there today, too, so we're racking them all up.
Oh, yeah. Look, perfect timing. On my screen right now on SNY, Chris Lepresti, I guess they got CeeLo breaking down the significance of Elmo, but yeah, Pablo Sanchez.
Pablo Sanchez.
Yeah, you said Pablo Escobar. Close.
Oh, God.
Close.
Easy out, Escobar. I'll say this, they had WWE night, too. So add that to the list.
As much as you think the Mets don't have the gimmicks this year, they still have the gimmicks.
Do they have Elmo in studio with them like they had the Grimace costume with Sal last year? I remember that was the segment they did.
Well, you got to win. If the Mets sweep the Anaheim Angels today, then either Elmo or Pablo Sanchez mascot is going to keep going. They'll be there when they return home.
Hey, I'll say this. So you just brought it up, El Troll. He was trolling first half of the year. He go 0 for 4, 3 Ks and a gratitude double play. But if these back-to-back nights is what he's back to do, man, all of a sudden we got something cooking. I was just talking to Zuby on the glass. Not only do you get this out of him at the plate, the power that you obviously, you expected when you first called him up, top prospect in the whole league. And, obviously it was awful. But also, all of a sudden now, you send Torrance to the bench. He goes from a guy who was batting in the middle third of the lineup to probably one of the best backup catchers in all of baseball, along with what you're going to get from Alvarez as a regular starter. And even the bullpen, man, like I was tweeting, if there's an X factor to this team, 9 times out of 10 where you're going to get out of Diaz. I know he got rocked a couple nights ago, but you see, he looked like vintage Diaz last night. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Ryan Stanek, man, he is the perfect setup man when he's on, and I know he walks the ballpark, but then he'll strike the other 3 guys out, and it kind of feels like he's almost a playoff riser. You remember it was him and Maton last year, Brazoban too, but him and Maton, and they kind of like flip-flop, where Stanek was unusable down the stretch, but, in the postseason, he was probably their go-to reliever, and that kind of feels like what he's been in years past. I think he only won 1 ring with Houston, and he was really good on that Tampa team that won the pennant too. And then obviously last year in October, he was huge. So when he's on, bro, he is one of the most electric setup guys in the league, and they need him down the stretch. I think tonight was his 3rd save, but he's been pretty solid these last few appearances, and they're going to need him down the stretch.
Yeah, the lab is working. He's definitely going to play a role. They went and got him last year. They're going to add some other pieces. Right now, I give credit to David Stearns. Every day you see their roster moves, transactions, guys coming up, guys coming down. They're they're trying to figure it out until they add the actual pieces for the second half run into the postseason.
For sure, man. Hey, I know it's 1 o'clock. I get a quick open mic point in.
Yeah.
You're talking about I know you watch, you keep an eye on the other games like out of town scoreboard. Have you been? I know you've been keeping. I don't know if you've been keeping an eye, but like a lot of people, like Arizona is kind of like the wild card or the X factor with the deadline, and the way they lose some of these games, man, they have base loaded, nobody out, down 2 tonight, and lost. And
they lost late.
And talk about Houston, by the way, bro.
They're good.
We're talking about the Mets and Yankees. Like we got Volpe, who stinks now. Peraza on your guys' end, and we got the baby Mets that pretty much one after the other hasn't panned out here, man. You want to talk about how a well-oiled machine in Houston? They lose Correa, they replace him with Pena. They lose Bregman, they replace him with Cam Smith. They lose Altuve, they move to the outfield. They got this kid Bryce Matthews now. He's going to be a stud, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just incredible. And the guy Kyle Tucker trade is where they got Cam Smith and Isaac Paredes from. Now, Paredes is going to be out for a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and they were the ones to get Suarez. So it's just crazy.
And he was an all-star. Mauricio Dubon. They have players. They always reload. They signed Christian Walker. As we're talking about Paul Goldschmidt, I remember the back and forth between Yankee fans wanting Christian Walker over Paul Goldschmidt. They're good. They always retool, and that's why they don't sign guys, because they know they have guys coming up in their farm system and they can plug and play.
It's like South Park. I didn't hear no bell. Every time we think Seattle's going to start winning the division, Texas, they didn't even win the division. When they won the ring, they were a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible, man. And even like you got Brown and Valdez in that rotation, man. It's just crazy. They are them, and the Yankees will always be the 1A, 1B. People talk about Detroit, by the way, and I was talking to C-Mac last night. You always hear people calling, we're not close to Houston, and people giving Detroit their flowers this year. But you don't hear, by the way, they've lost 8 out of their last 9. The one game they won was they tried every bone in their body to give Skubal a DeGrom start. He went like 7 2/3, struck out 11. He didn't even get the win. So you don't know me. I'm like the Tigers. Someone needed to hate on the Tigers in the season, and I've taken on that.
No, I know you were hating on their run last year.
Oh my God, I'm hate watching them, man. Oh, you don't know, man. Glaber and Javi, I am not giving them their flowers, bro. Thanks
for the call, Ross. Perfect segue. Speaking of Glaber, in the chat, shout out to my guy Jack. Jack is like a young researcher. Glaber Torres is an all-star, but if you think back to last year, in the chat we were talking about Glaber, right? He says that Game 1 error in the World Series for Glaber is the nightmare big spot error I fear for Volpe this year. And earlier in the show I was saying, I can't do it. We can't have it. We can't keep ignoring it with Volpe. It's going to cost us. And when it costs us, everybody's going to be pointing the finger at Boone and Cashman, and it might be too much for the guy to live down. Well, then, Jack also put in the chat, he said, Keith, remember last year, Glaber led MLB second baseman with 18 errors. Now it's Volpe, and you can't have sloppy play in the middle infield trying to win a World Series. It goes back to what I've been saying about the Yankees. You can change the players, the outcome is still the same. You can change the lineup, the outcome is still the same. What is it? The common denominator is the general manager. Now, Rodney is in the chat. Rodney Clark says, we need Jeter as GM. He's a winner. Bro, Jeter doesn't even want to come to Old Timers Day. Jeter's not trying to be the Yankees GM. Jeter is going on the All-Star game challenging Brian Cashman, the Yankees GM, to make the right move. So, I don't know. I just think it is something about the overall message and morale, mentality that these Yankees have. I think these are very much the participation trophy era Yankees. They are coddled. They are protected. And I understand that because I'm hard on them. You're hard on them. The media is hard on them. The writers, the fans, they get booed. So it's like, okay, their own employers are not going to, come down on them. But, man, I think they need some tough love. And sometimes tough love is a guy like Anthony Volpe telling them, hey, we've given you the longest leashes that we've given anybody. It ain't working, bro. We got to do something here. We got to send you down, or we got to sit you down. We can't ignore it. Even guys like Yorbit Vivas not sliding, letting Ronald Acuna make an all-time play. You got to bench him. That is the exact spot. You pull a guy out, and then Boone that night says, I don't only bench guys that don't run. And then the video goes viral. I heard somebody today, 2 things I heard today, and we'll get back to the phones at 888-808-1019. I think someone called BT show this morning and were like, oh, yeah, when Jazz popped up against the Braves and didn't run, Boone was talking about blah, blah, blah. First off, he didn't pop up. He grounded out to second, and he didn't hustle. And it was in the 6th inning, I believe. And I think Cody Bellinger did the same thing right before him. So when Boone said that in the postgame, I remember being like, bro, what are we talking about? Belly and Jazz both kind of just, grounded out weakly, left-handed hitters grounding out weakly to second base like Alex Verdugo used to do, and not hustling and not running out. They were defeated in that first game against the Braves. And then I also heard somebody, and Desi in the chat says, we need to bring back Didi. And Didi is somewhere, probably in the Netherlands, but I heard somebody today call into Evan and Tiki and say, Volpe replaced Jeter. I know that's hard enough. What are you talking about? Volpe didn't replace Jeter. Volpe replaced IKF. IKF replaced Glaber. Glaber filled in after Didi. Didi replaced Derek Jeter. Robbie's in Lennox on the Fan next. What's up, Robbie?
Hey, Keith. Thanks for taking the call. Well, there used to be a guy when I was growing up in the 70s named Horace Stone's Fingers Clark, and it's almost like compared to Anthony Volpe. Now, every time he gets the ball, I hold my breath, and I go, oh, God, is he going to make the throw? And tonight, when he misses when he makes that throw, when Ben makes the play, can't make the play, I'm like, here we go again. I turn the game off. I go, watch, they're going to blow the game. Now, here's my question for you. This is what drives me crazy about Aaron Boone, okay? I know it's probably not his decision because it's a group decision because, of course, managers don't have autonomy today, Keith, okay? And the modern baseball world, okay? But why can't Cam come back in the 6th inning and start the 6th inning? Why must Tim Hill, why must we micromanage a game, Keith, in the 5th inning of a baseball game or the 6th inning of a baseball game? Why can't this kid come back?
Because he's a rookie. It's his second outing. He went 5 innings like they had scripted. He threw 90 pitches. He had trouble recovering the last time. No muss.
I get so sick of it. Can't we challenge these young guys? As far as trades go, you and I talked about Willie Castro. Here's what I would do. I would go out and get Willie Castro, and I would go out and get Brian Hayes from Pittsburgh, and then add one of the relief pitchers from Pittsburgh. I don't know what we have to give up at this point. Now, you made a good point a couple times about Goldschmidt, okay? Ben's got to play more. Goldie's a guy they could trade, but you don't want to give up his defense. But that's a problem. That's not a bad problem to have in terms of like.
It's just too clogged up. I'm just tired of them making decisions like, we're going to sit Bellinger down. No.
But I can't stand it, right? Cody comes back tonight. Look what he does. What you talked about the other night. Why is he sitting down? I said to you the other night, why is he sitting down? It's ridiculous. And these are decisions that I don't understand. And I said to Alex when I first started the call tonight, why can't the Yankees ever do this? And that is have the same damn lineup, the same damn batting order. They need a legitimate table setters. Look what the Blue Jays do. They put the damn ball in play, Keith, and that's what the Yankees don't do.
They have some moving parts and some guys that play some different positions, but yes, they put bat to ball and they run.
So who do you right? Exactly. That's what the Yankees don't do. That's what the old Yankee teams used to do. They used to put the bat on the ball. Joe Torre used to say this all the time. Think in terms of small bites. Small bites. These guys don't think in terms of small bites. They're all trying to kill the ball. I'm so tired of watching Austin Wells try to lift the ball. And tonight, obviously, Ben lifted the ball. But the philosophy of the Yankees has always been about home runs. And that's why, yes, the Yankees hit home runs when they won championships. But basically, for the most part, they were line drive contact hitters. And that's what this team isn't.
That's what they need. And that's why Suarez adding another guy that's leading the National League in home runs. It's like, I don't know if I need that. I don't know if that's.
You need to strike it. By the way, I wanted to tell you, I'm going back on the air probably next month. And Ralph and I would love to have you on sometime, maybe on Zoom, because I had an award-winning sports program up here in New England for a couple of years until I got sick last year. So
just send me an email. My email is on my Twitter and Instagram. I get random emails all the time. Thanks for the call, Robbie. I got Moose in Jamaica sending me 7 videos of him throwing at the park as he tries to make his David Robertson return. I'm not even joking. Like, I read his email on the air, and I do podcasts. I try my best to, especially these young guys. I can't tell you how many young guys podcasts I've done.
tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. This morning, I'll be on Jay's Talk Plus again. They rock with me up there in the 6. They show me mad love. Like when they introduced me as, their favorite from WFAN on Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto. And I'm pumped because they tried to have me on Monday. And I was like, I was booked up. Monday morning is always tough. Coming off the weekend and taking care of my son and everybody in the house getting up early. And then especially when I'm on late, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing Monday. And we were coming into the series, being swept by the Blue Jays. At least when I get on the call at 11 a.m., zooming in from my little home studio, I'll have a smile on my face and say, we got one. Benny Blanco. We got one. Max Fried. Here comes Max Fried. And 888-808-1019. And you don't have to, book me for your podcast. You can talk to me right here. Brian's in West Palm on the Fan next. What's up, Brian? Brian, West Palm. Oh, it took too long to get to him. I think I just heard yep. That's a snore, but there's like a long pause in between. There it is. All right. Brian's on hold. That's like you hold your breath. That's like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3.
We had to stay with that for a second just to make sure everything was okay, Let me check in on Brian.
Yeah, I didn't hang up the phone. He's on hold. But Brian's a good caller. I'm queuing up some audio as well as I'm going to force the football conversation, as I've been the last couple nights. And I know pretty soon we're not going to be able to force it because there's going to be some plays coming out of camp. There's going to be some quarterback controversies. There's going to be some overreaction to Justin Fields. And we're going to get to cooking on all that football stuff probably as soon as next week. Inside training camp is going to happen. And, yeah, we're going to be full-on NFL. NFL is king. All right.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, thank God for real, though. Like, not even joking. Like, I know the Mets and the Yankees are in the mix, and, we expect them to go to the postseason. But it's just like living and dying with every game of the baseball season. We need the NFL. It's just what I'll say about the NFL, and I love baseball. You've heard me say that baseball is the best game, but like the NFL is the best league because like I can name every quarterback in the NFL. I could probably name their backups. I can name probably an offensive lineman if I really think about it on every team. I can name a defensive player on every team. Because of fantasy, you can name everybody's receivers and running backs. Because of the draft, what players were drafted on these teams. It's just a different effect with the 32 NFL teams. All right, let me take another call. And I just sent Zoo the audio from, unfortunately, the NFL team that I chose when I was a little kid, when I was just staring at the TV, not knowing that cable was forcing me to be a Jerry Jones fan. Well, I'm not a Jerry Jones fan anymore. I don't even rep the team as far as wearing the jerseys or any of the merch, and I haven't been to Jerry World. Coming up this year, we'll make it 10 years. I've boycotted. But yeah, we'll hear from Micah Parsons after we heard from Jerry Jones last night. Yeah, we'll hear from Micah Parsons after the break. Let me take another call and see what Rich in South Orange is thinking. Rich, are you there? You with us? You sleep or what?
No, I'm right here. I'm still here. Thank God. Listen, I have a trade proposal.
Okay.
I think it's a win-win, and nobody's mentioned it. But if I'm Brian Cashman and I'm trying to fill two holes, especially in the long run at shortstop and third, why not propose Rice, Spencer Jones, and Lombard to the Reds for De La Cruz? You ship Volpe over to third. You got your shortstop for 10 years. You got a leadoff batter. You got a guy with power. I haven't heard anybody mention that, but what do you think about that?
De La Cruz is right up there with Volpe as far as leading the league in errors. He's got 12. Let me go refresh that. He might have had one tonight. He's a freak of nature. He's a phenom in the making. He's going to make a lot of money, but I think they're also going to O'Neal Cruz him and put him in center field. No one's mentioned it because he's under control, and the Cincinnati Reds fans absolutely love that guy. Where like they're not doing that. And the players you mentioned, we love those players. Lombard is untouchable. Ben Rice won the game last night. They're not trading those guys. Thanks for the call, though, Rich. Thanks for holding. Thanks for waiting. Yeah, we're gonna get to Micah Parsons audio on my live stream. I'm gonna pull some stuff from the chat. Shout out to my guy who runs the Funhouse Twitter account 5 minutes ago. He said, Keith, we need more strip club stories about Destiny and Mercedes and Sierra before you pack up tonight. Let me cook up some centerfold stories from my DJ Mac Diesel days. That was my DJ name. I didn't come up with it. DJ Mac Diesel at Sennies. That's what we used to call centerfolds. The nice establishment on the Asbury Circle. If you're ever going down Route 35, heading towards Belmar, towards the Jersey Shore, open late till 4 a.m. I used to spin there and MC for all the nice young ladies in Monmouth County that were just trying to make a couple bucks. So yeah, I'll I have to think back on some good stories from out of there. And yeah, I got one. I got a couple. I got to just make sure they're PG enough for the kids that listen late night to the fan. But you kids are gonna grow up one day and you're gonna find yourself in the booty club as well. 888-808-1019. Keith McPherson on the fan. I'll be right back.
Alex Warren. Jaboozy. Everybody at all on one stage, one night only. Friday, September 26th at the Brew.
Hello. Thank you all for coming out to this.
Tickets on sale Friday, August 1st at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster.com.
Imagine a gentleman's club with over 200 gorgeous exotic dancers every week.
Hey, big boy.
From the people who make fantasies come true, Gallagher's 2000 in Long Island City is the place to be. Gallagher's 2000, a gentleman's club for today, gentlemen. Gallagher's 2000 features 2 floors.
All right, so I sent you the Micah Parsons audio. Let me listen to it real quick. Somebody did call and suggest Belly to third. I forget who it was. Somebody called the fan and they were saying how athletic Belly is, that he could do it. They're not going to do that though. Belly is a plus defender. I don't put it past him that he could do it. They even leaned into like, oh, it was John and Masbeth. John and Masbeth said that. He's like, Jazz did it. Belly could do it. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. They're going to trade for a third baseman.
Okay, I got 20 minutes here. Keith McPherson on the Fan, about to bring it home. We're going to talk a little bit more NFL, checking in on the Dallas Cowboys camp after Jerry Jones talked about Micah Parsons being hurt for 6 games, even though he was only hurt for 4. He questioned his leadership. He even took a shot at Dak Prescott. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think Jerry Jones is old, senile, and so filthy rich that when you're that far gone, you don't understand like the rest of the league and how they go about doing business, and you just do your own business. You're untouchable. And like the money that these players deal with is nothing to an owner like Jerry Jones. And that's why I think he tries to play games like this in the media with the agents and with the players to show them like, yo, at the end of the day, like Dallas Cowboys are worth billions. Like, your millions that I'm going to give you, like I'm going to give it to you when I want to give it to you, how I want to give it to you, but like you don't control anything here. Show up, come to camp, and I give Micah Parsons credit for doing so. But listen to what Micah Parsons had to say today after the first day of camp when the media surrounded him to be like, "Hey, Micah, what are you thinking?" All right, let's run that, Zoo.
I mean, honestly, for me, it really don't matter. Like I said, I've been pretty consistent. If they don't want me here, they don't want me here. I go about my business. I understand the nature of the business. Like I said, as long as I'm here and under contract, I'm gonna do what I have to do to perform at the highest level. But if this is the end, this is the end. There's same way that Jerry Jones, and Steve Jones, and the other Jerry Jones take care of their family. Same way I need to take care of my family. I mean, I got my own 3 kids of my own, so we all need to take care of our own family at the end of the day.
Made it about the family, keeping up with the Joneses, the same way Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, other Joneses take care of their family. And he's got to take care of his family too. I've followed Micah Parsons closely from Penn State to Dallas. He kind of wished himself into Dallas. There's a great video, like a "Hey Rookie, welcome to the NFL" video, where he says he was hoping it would be Dallas, and it's Dallas. And I know they're going to pay him. I don't want to say I think. I know they're going to pay him because he is such a focal point of their defense. They can't not pay him. But here you go, Jerry Jones. Every day you wait, you're costing yourself money. And they've already costed themselves a bunch of money. Their roster construction is terrible. They're not going to win anything. But it was good today to see Dak Prescott healthy, throwing to George Pickens. Wait a minute. Throwing to CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson. Very interested to see what their running back room looks like. Jaden Blue, the rookie out of Texas. Supposedly there were some issues with him, but he's a guy that you just give him the ball, he's going to go. They also have Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders there. Like those guys, those are guys that you pick up in fantasy off the waiver wire and you hope that they score 1 touchdown in week 13. But maybe they figure it out. Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and I don't even know the Dallas Cowboys depth chart. I'm thinking of the little running back out of Kansas State that they signed. He should be in the mix, but he's so small. He's a little pocket Hercules. I won't even call him pocket Hercules. He doesn't deserve that title. Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn is a 4th-string running back. So, football's starting up, man. I can't wait to see preseason games. I know there's a lot of you excited about Jackson Dart. And what I'll say, and I'm going to stick by this the entire season, there is no rush on Jackson Dart. You're going to get to see him play in preseason. Hopefully he lights it up. But there's a reason that you signed 2 veteran quarterbacks and you still have Tommy DeVito around. There's no reason to rush into, like I see a lot of NFL shows leaning into, why can't Jackson Dart start week 1? You don't need him to start week 1. Toughest schedule in the NFL. Don't throw this kid into the fire. Let Russell Wilson's old ass take those hits. And then when he can't get up, put Jameis Winston into the game. I'm interested to see what their running back room looks like with Singletary, Tyrone Tracy, and Cam Scattaboo. Like the Giants finally have like some pieces. They have some characters. They have some players that I think can be interesting that are going to help them compete. All right, back to the Yankee calls and the Mets calls. The Yankees won. They're getting ready to put Max Fried out there on the mound. Max Fried's got to throw 8 innings. And, the Yankees are trying to win a series against the Blue Jays. I think last night I got on and I said, hey, the Yankees got to win the last 5 games to own the tiebreaker over the Blue Jays. Well, they got 1 out of 4. Get this next one, and who knows what happens when they come back to Yankee Stadium. But, I know that the Toronto Blue Jays are scrappy. They're feeling themselves, and they're going to bounce right back. Their streak has ended, their 11-game home win streak, their 5-game win streak over the Yankees. But do not sleep on, this Blue Jays team and their ability to bounce back. They will have on the mound, who's due up for them? Barrios? Let me see here. Chris Bassett. That's a great matchup. I like Chris Bassett's style, man. He's got a few pitches. He competes. He's up there in age, but he still got it. So Max Fried versus Chris Bassett on tap for later on tonight from the Rogers Center. Let's go up to Canada. My guy Tony in Montreal is back on the Fan. What's up, Tony?
How you doing? You had me rolling, man. You had me rolling. I was listening to you on your admonition to your young callers. They might find themselves in a booty club. Well, let me tell you something. Invite all your New York friends. Invite up all your friends up to Montreal, man. You don't have to go to any booty club. All you got to do is walk around downtown Montreal, and your tongue is hanging out of your head. Yeah. The most beautiful women in the world are living in Montreal, man. This is the city for beauty and femininity.
I gotta find out. I gotta come up there. I had planned to go up there with my wife to see the Yankees play in Olympic Park against the Blue Jays at the end of spring training 2020. And then the pandemic hit, and I had to call Air Canada literally the day that the pandemic hit in America. And I don't think it had hit up there yet. And I remember being on the phone with Air Canada, like, yeah, we need a refund on that. Like, we're not going to be able to come. Like, they just canceled all the sports. Like, this is a real thing.
I'll tell you something. A pretty guy like you, man, you will have no problem up here. I think you might want to take that up on a bachelor club type of thing, and you enjoy yourself. But I just want to say one thing. You got to love my friend Guerrero. Did you see him on the bench tonight? We talked about, did you see him? He's jiving and shucking and he's smiling. And, he's enjoying life, man. This is the kind of baseball player that people that are regular fans, people that are so-so fans, people that are not fans, they go, look at this guy. Who is this guy? And they're interested in this guy. This guy has charisma, man. He's an unbelievable ball player. And, you see him up against Judge. I don't care if you don't like the Jays or if you don't like the Yankees. Watching those two teams today, you're riveted to the game. You're riveted to the game. And, of course, it comes out to be, a last-minute thing. And, I got to give kudos to Dartmouth. Ben Rice, I always liked that kid. He's a huge player. Where did he get drafted? Out of the 8th round or something like that? And this guy, I believe, Keith, is going to be a star. This guy is going to be a star. Look at the home run power. Like, that guy is something else. And if you notice when he comes to the bench, the boys, the Yanks love him. They just love him. And he's integral. He's part of that team. And I want to shout out to Volpe, that New Jersey Italian kid. He's a tough kid. He's having a tough time. But, Yanks fans that are listening, stop hating on the guy and send him some love. Maybe he can come out of it because he did hit 2 home runs and he did look good to me, and I still love him. I love him like I love you, Keith.
Oh, well, thank you, Tony. Appreciate the call, man. I think I get more love than Anthony Volpe right now. I got my fair share of haters, too. It comes with the territory. You host a show on WFAN, they're going to write about you. They're going to criticize you. Like I told you, I was getting cooked off the Paul Goldschmidt couple lines I said in a rant. I'm like, oh, that's not going to play well. But it did play well. I'm like, I'm going to have to apologize to Goldie. I'm going to have to reword that. Obviously, I'm not quitting on Paul Goldschmidt, but at the same time, it is what it is, I see. And shout out to our digital team. Our digital team's putting out clips of me and Big Mac more often now. They make fun of my hair. They make fun of my clothes. They take shots at Big Mac. I'm like, that's not right. All we do is come in here and try and entertain you guys through the night, talk about the games, take your calls, but it comes with the territory. Going back to what you said about Vladdy, man. Yeah, Vladdy, I got respect for. He's got the bag. He looks to be in the best shape of his career. He doesn't look like a fat boy anymore. He looks like he's in shape. I saw him running hard. John Boy and Jake even brought that up to Aaron Boone about him running and sliding hard. And, Boone kind of got on the offensive and was like, what does that mean? That they want it more than us because Vladdy's running hard, because Vladdy's slamming his helmet or sliding in and losing his helmet? Yeah, but I feel like Vladdy was vibing tonight. He was comfortable tonight. He did have that slap single and did his job in the 9th inning to get on as a leadoff hitter. There was even a part in the game when they walked Judge. Vladdy knew what time it was in the 8th inning. John Schneider's throwing up the 4. Vladdy's also throwing up the 4. So I just feel like Vladdy knows that's his team. He's paid. He's Canadian-born. He is on the first place team in the American League East. They had beat the Yankees 5 times in a row. They had an 11-game home winning streak. He probably felt like they were going to win tonight, but they did not. Now, as far as Montreal goes, I don't even think about going to Montreal. How far is the drive? I was going to fly, but you said to go up there on a bachelor party. Fun fact, skipped out on my bachelor party. Didn't need one. Didn't have one. Just, I don't know. Wasn't trying to go anywhere. Wasn't trying to. I kind of grew out of, I had enough of it. I played college football. I was always around dudes. I lived in football houses. I was always in locker rooms. Kind of when I got out of college, I don't even think I think my wife did go on a bachelorette party, but when it came up for me to have a bachelor party, I passed on it. Didn't do one. Didn't care. I've been on some bachelor parties, and that's my segue into a bachelor party that I witnessed at Centerfold's. Centerfold's Gentlemen's Club, as you just heard the Gallagher's 3,000 during the break. I don't even know who owns it or manages it now. It's been so long, but it's BYOB. And in the shore area, when they closed down the bars at, last call, 1:30, everybody out by 2, there is a rush of people that don't want to end the night. And they either come in with beers from home or, whatever. And they come and spend the last 2-3 hours in Centerfold. And I always was aware of that. And, I remember, one night there was a party of maybe 15 dudes, and they actually wheeled in a keg. They wheeled in a keg for their bachelor party. They showed up there probably 8, 9 o'clock, and they stayed until we literally kicked them out. And these dudes were falling out of the place. They took the whole VIP room. I didn't even want to know how much it cost for them to rent the VIP room, which had its own fridge, had its own stage, had its own area. And this was when I was so young. I wasn't even thinking about my own bachelor party or what that was like or what that even meant, man. I remember one night DJing. You want to go home. You gotta DJ the club until it's done. But there was this one chick, and I don't remember her name. I could see her face right now in front of me. Older woman, white woman with dark hair. She does not do any pole dancing. She does not do any dancing. She doesn't dance to songs. But she would come in, and she would come in late, and she would have almost clients, and she would hustle that place. And we would have to stay open late because she would be in a private room, and they'd be like, yo, just keep playing songs. Just keep playing songs. I don't know what was going on back there, but keep playing songs. And when she would come out, bro, she would break me off with $100, sometimes $150, which is solid. I think I told you guys the way the payouts work, each girl has to pay you $20. So you do the math. It's 60 minutes in an hour, and the sets are either 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and the stage can fit anywhere from 2 to 4 girls. And each one of those girls, when they, make their money, whatever, they got to pay the DJ out minimum of $20. You're a bum if you pay the DJ out $20. $20 to me. A girl handing you $20. I'm not even talking to her. I don't know your name. I don't know. You gave me $20. I'll mark you down. And that's another thing. I love that. Shout out to Kira. Because I would mark these girls down, and I would have different marks, an X for somebody that gave me 20, then a check for someone that paid more, and then a 0 for someone that skipped out. Because some of these, I'm trying to watch my terms. Some of these broke, they would skip out on you, not trying to give you the 20, but that would get marked. And then the manager of the club, the next time they came in to do their shift, would collect. And there was sometimes I would come into work and there would just be an envelope like, yeah, we collected for you. I remember going to the bank. I went to a couple different banks where they thought that I was, Chippendales. They thought that I was a dancer. And I remember having the conversation like, nah, these dirty ones came from, that's how they pay me out. I'm not dancing. I'm a DJ. But yeah, those were the days, man. You could make upwards to, there were some nights I left there with a couple thousand, like $2,000. There were some nights where you could leave with just like 700, 800, but like, bro, you're hanging out in the strip club. And I have my own booth area. A lot of times I'm hanging with the girls. Like, I was so young. I got that job. When I was 19, the summer I was 19. And the way I got the job was heckling the DJ. They had this old DJ that just like was playing corny songs and wasn't mixing. And I could tell the girls weren't feeling it. I remember rapping with a couple girls. They're like, yeah, this DJ's not good. Blah, blah, blah. So I was drunk in there at like 19. I started heckling the DJ. And the manager was like, you think you could do better? And I'm like, hell yeah. And she's like, okay, you're a DJ? I'm like, yup. She's like, when can you start? I'm like, I can start as soon as you want me to start. The next week, they had me start on a Sunday. The Sunday shift is terrible. The Sunday shift is like the D-list chicks. The Sunday shift, like, I don't even want to say. I remember my boy Josh came to support me and throw some ones, and my brother pulled up for my first one. And I'm like, once I got through that Sunday shift and I rocked, then they started putting me on like Friday night, Saturday night, and that's when you wanted to be in there. All right, let me take another call. But I mean, hey, Funhouse requested some, more tales from the Gentlemen's Club DJ days. Yeah, even back then, like, I had no idea I was going to do this. I was always a DJ in the Shore area. I went to college and I was a DJ in the bars and the clubs, MCs. I even DJ'd on my college radio station. I thought I was going to make it in New York as a DJ, DJing in clubs, maybe DJing on the radio, but this kind of worked out for me. Last call of the night goes to Anthony in Stamford, Connecticut. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, Keith? It's kind of hard to follow up your strip club story, but I tweeted you earlier saying I was going to call in after I got out of work, and wanted to get your opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, we all know the Yankees' defensive miscues, and usually I'm a very optimistic Yankee fan. I try to think positive. I try to lift Volpe up in front of my coworkers, my friends, but do you really see anything changing with this team in the postseason? Like, we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
No, I'm afraid of it, honestly. I'm dreading it. I'm not looking forward to October this year. The bar is set at get back to the World Series and win it. Anything short of that is going to be a failure. I want to get back to the World Series just to go, but like, I have a fear of them being one and done or them being a wild card and losing. And like, I just don't want it for Volpe, for them to just keep saying he's elite, he's a top shortstop, and then we get there and he has a terrible error that like loses us a game or costs us some runs. I think he needs a reset, man. I'm watching him, just like the routine has become difficult for him. Plays that he should make with his eyes closed, he's skipping the ball in front of Rice. It's back-to-back nights, and it's in his head, it's in Tim Hill's head, it's in everybody's head, and it's just going to keep rearing its ugly head when you really can't have it.
Yeah, 100%, man. I kind of feel the same way. I'm wary of what's going to happen in the playoffs. I'm 23 years old, so I was 7 the last time the Yankees won the World Series, and last year was a huge gut punch. So I just want to see the team win, man. And these times where we kill ourselves in the field, it's not fun to see. I hope they change it around.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, thanks for the call, Anthony. Obviously, they're going to add at the deadline. Hopefully, they get a third baseman that can help Volpe, and hopefully he just shakes it off. But I don't think it's as simple as like he's just going to shake it off. Like, how? When you got to play every day? How? When that ball gets hit to you at a high rate, you're the shortstop of the New York Yankees. There's a microscope on you, and you've been struggling this long, and they've been kind of ignoring it. Like, Volpe's got to play damn near perfect. He's got to have great at bats, and he's got to not make any more mistakes. He's already leading the league in errors. He's got to stop. And I don't know. I think his fundamentals, his footwork, and little things like that are off. All right, that's all I got, man. I did write a couple notes for the gentlemen's club stories. I'll save my Alexis, Texas story for tomorrow. That was my favorite night there ever. I'll never get over that night. I still tell people about that night with Alexis, Texas pulling up. That was like, bro, it was like your wildest dreams starting to come to life. And she was mad cool. And since I worked there, I got to go back. I'll tell y'all tomorrow. C-Max coming up. Keith McPherson on the fan. That's all I got. I'm out.
Sports Radio 101.9 FM. It's Evan and Kiki. Afternoons on the Fan 101.9 FM.
I'm very kind of in the middle about the Mets. Like, I know Tommy will bring the positivity, and I appreciate that. I'm not negative.
Oh. All right. All right, y'all. Got a blast. That's all I got, man. What a cliffhanger. That's show business. That's how it's done, man. Appreciate y'all. You already know. Bang that like, tell a friend to tell a friend, send this to somebody. I'll see y'all tomorrow night, man.